What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Sarlacc Digest, a podcast bringing you line talk and digesting Star Wars topics over 1,000 years. This is episode 198 being recorded on February 22nd, 2023. I am your host, Darth Moocher. I've got Bootleg Joe here with me.
Hey, yo.
Got Grand Admiral Franz.
Hello, everyone.
And Ernie the Fallen Fett.
And posted like everybody should have been. Right
there. Very good, very good. Scott might be jumping in with us. You know, for some reason we've got weather in Southern California here, so who knows what the heck is going on here? It's just cold.
It's freezing in this room right now.
It's very cold. So Scott might be jumping in and out. Ernie might be jumping in and out. We're just gonna have just a monster of a show tonight. But before we get started, of course, I don't know. I forgot to ask Chris if you had our Patreon list ready to go. I don't know. Do you have that? No. Okay. So, but
I'll do the chat people when they come up. I can find it. Y'all are killing me. I mean, let's see here. Let's see who's in the pit today getting digested. This was not part of the plan. There was no business continuity plan, no contingencies put in place.
Scott's out. It all falls apart.
Don't say that out loud. Then he's gonna hear it. And he's gonna be like, "Oh, they need me." Look, Bootleg Joe already left. Look, Boot left too. We're the only ones who are gonna be on the entire time. I feel like
it was like
turn
this
off my camera
when
quick.
he said everybody's gonna be jumping in and out. Joe was like, "I don't have to be here."
Oh, yeah. I can bounce whenever I want.
Yeah.
He's muted right now, taking a shit, just doing his thing.
Poor Joe don't feel good.
Poor Joe.
Yeah. Joey's sick.
Sorry, I was having technical difficulties.
No worries.
We were discussing it. All right, so getting digested in the pit right now. We've got, look at that. Scott is in there. Hey, Scott. He's just checking to make sure everything's running smooth, and it is. Dorn. What's up, Don? Gavin Connor's in there. Matt Logic. Mando Mike. You know what? I've missed Mando Mike. I didn't think I'd ever miss Mando Mike, but I really miss Mike, like a lot. He's not in here all the time hanging out. I feel like I
know. He got a life now.
He went and got a life and jobbing and shit.
Jizob.
Right? We got Santo1414, the Saber Smith. And is that who we're at right now? Did I miss anybody? I think we're good there. The Patreon list we'll get to short. I don't have my phone, dude. Somebody's got to pull it.
No problem. But I just want to put the Patreons know who you are at this point, right? I mean, so
we'll have to do a special double blast next week. That's horrible.
Absolutely. Oh, we're gonna do So okay, cool. Thank you, Chris, for the impromptu shout out of the pit. It just works really good sometimes. I think it was flustered just because of Bad Batch. Bad Batch has got me all flustered and all kinds of like.
You guys,
here's the thing, Ernie, and we talked about this in our little chat and everything. It's like, at this point, or even like the last couple episodes, I'm not mad at the Bad Batch. I'm really not mad. Like, I'm like, I'm not like one of those. I'm gonna throw the gavel down and be like, oh, Bad Batch is horrible, like I would do with Resistance, But I'm at the point where I just kind of like, I'm not into the show because it doesn't feel like a Star Wars show anymore. It started off with when it started was to get into like the Order 66 and then the meat and the potatoes of things, and now they're doing their own thing, which is probably the point of it. And I just don't feel like we're watching a Star Wars show. Even the Clone Wars, when it veered off, it righted its course, and we got back into like the Mortis arc. We got back into
you always had a lightsaber going on there, or a recognizable clone helmet or something like that. We're not getting enough Empire right now. For this being post Order 66 and them getting the, and I know the last episode's called Order 99 anyway.
Right.
So we're going to be heavy Empire there.
Yeah.
But until then, it's like we're not getting anywhere close to enough Empire. So I was saying earlier, right, in the chat, it's like, there's this point where I got up this morning, and after trying to watch it and watching two other things instead because I just couldn't get into this, but I try to get in the right headspace right before I start watching it. I'm like, you know what? This isn't a massive thing. Let's just watch this episode as a comic, as a novel, as a standalone spin-off one-shot, right? Let's watch this episode like that. Mm-hmm. And as I watched it, I tried not to be pre-mad this time. I was trying to be pre-happy, and it didn't work. Because I went through it and I'm like, no, it doesn't. And to your point, it didn't feel right. It didn't feel like I was excited about stuff, and I wasn't Star Warsy.
Yeah,
and it is. And don't get me wrong. There's its points, and Gonk droids are in there, so that's like the saving grace of the whole damn thing.
Hey,
right?
Saber Smith, Gonky for the win. I think I agree. We have a
And
soft spot for droids, and
and we've come across kind of negative and gotten worse and worse over the week. It's just because it's not going anywhere. And I think,
yeah,
based on the next couple episodes, like what we've heard before, like the next one's supposed to be like a horror-esque type thing, right? We've got a Mount Tannis episode coming up. We've
I heard
got
another Crosshair.
Order 99. Crosshair starts coming up more often. I think 13 on, he's in everything, or maybe 12 on. We've got a lot of good stuff coming up. It just drives me nuts that you take a long time building stuff up that you probably didn't need to. This episode just wasn't a whole lot going.
Yeah, you know what it is? I figured it out. So Clone Wars had the main story was the Clone Wars, and we're following Obi-Wan and Anakin, all these stuff, and then it veers off and does these side missions, and then it comes back into the thing. And those side missions were the ones we were like, oh, we can skip or whatever. This show does the opposite. The main storyline is the boring storyline, and the side missions, when they veer off like a Crosshair episode or a politic episode, that's when we're like, this is awesome. And then it goes back into its lane. And now we're on the bad. Like I said, here's the thing. I don't even care about resolution with Sid. I don't. It's not that I don't care. It's just like It's not going to do anything. Once they the Bad Batch is doing their main storyline, it's going to be the side missions. That's going to kind of get me excited for it.
What's funny is Bad Batch is a side mission. Really, that was a side mission in Clone Wars, and it's just a continued bunch of side missions. When you do get the other side, it's a side mission of a side mission. Yeah. So that's why it kind of bores down, right? I'm like, it's an easy fix, man. Easy fix. Put in the Empire. There just needs to be more. That's all. Just give me stormtroopers every other episode, and I'm cool. It's not that hard. TIE fighters can make the sound. We're deep enough where they can have stuff made. Or the beginnings of stuff, and we've seen G1 stormtroopers already go, and let's just use them. Use them. And I know it's coming, but we're going to get that same thing we got last season, where it was like it's okay season. Then you get hit with Mount Tannis in the last second, and it's happening. We're going to do that
I guarantee you, episode 16 comes. We'll probably be like, oh my god, I can't wait for season 3. You know what I mean?
Well, season 3, episode 16, when they're going to resolve this. And...
Episode, yeah, exactly. So I mean, I don't know what you guys think, Ernie and Joey. I mean, are you guys? Do you agree with that sentiment? Like the Bad Batch's storyline isn't Star Wars, but the side missions are are better viewing. But like the Bad Batch is, Dave Filoni even confirmed it. Bad Batch is a team in space. That's fine.
We'll see it. You don't have to
but who cares? I mean, I'm like whatever. It's go ahead, guys. If you guys have,
I'm just watching it for the fun of it now. I don't feel disgruntled about it or anything, or it needs more of this or that. I'm watching it. It's more side stories of Star Wars for me, and I do put it in A team. I mean, they were going at it, and I could hear in my head, dun, 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 dun,
oh
dun,
yeah,
dun.
I want the tape.
Yeah,
you know,
and you know, even like, you know, you stole from the wrong ones. Like,
yeah.
You know, it's like that, and I get it. I think they're trying to show us more on what's on the outside of, you know, of the Empire's doing it, but there's other people too who living out there that people can make these choices.
That's what this episode did. Yeah,
so
100%.
You know, I'm trying to see it as that. I get it. It's not everything we want, but I think at this point we know that now. So that's where I've already placed it. Like it was enjoyable for me to see that, you know.
I'm just thinking that's what
about the whole
purpose
family
of
thing and everything.
Yeah,
you know?
That's the purpose of the Bad Batch, though. Honestly, and for us, it's like we're like looking at it so deep and so expanded. And the purpose of the Bad Batch is to show that little side thing about the clones and life after Order 66 and the Rebel Rising and so. Like I said, but Andor's doing that. We have Mando doing that. I mean, we got a lot of things.
Oh, and this episode was very Solo-esque to me. You know, I had a bunch of kids working for a gangster doing things. You know,
it was
all
mirrored.
This stuff. We've done a lot of this stuff already, man.
Yeah.
It's not anything groundbreaking.
Again, it's spreading out there though. But there is growth though. I mean, as they brought out Omega when they captured her, he didn't flip out and be like Omega or anything. It was an automatic put the weapons down. You know, what are we going to do? And that whole shot was awesome of her reaching out her hand and knowing it. Like, she nailed it. And I'm sorry, I know you guys hate it, but I was like, oh, force powers at work. She knew exactly
I was just going to
reaching out the hand.
I was just going to say, you know, this is the first episode. I didn't see any force powers but maybe that was it.
To me,
Thank you, Arnie.
She had no... fearless. He was fearless in that.
Yeah.
I brought him down. She
Right.
did that flip, brought him down, and then just reached out her hand, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome." A growing point. I see it as that
Stop.
as growing.
Just okay. Stop. Enough. It's enough.
Thank you, Joe.
Enough of that.
I do. What do you think, Joe? At this point, how are you watching it? What is your feelings of you watching it? Are you okay to watch the whole thing, or is it like,
I'm okay. I'll still watch it no matter what. I'll still watch. Like I was talking to Marco about it last night, and I just told him it feels like I'm watching a brand new Disney cartoon.
Yeah.
That's not Star Wars. It's just an adventure cartoon. That's
another cartoon.
Mm-hmm. And like Chris hit on it right now with Sid. She started off as a side plot, as a side mission. Now it's like another side mission with the side mission. So
right.
I think that's what's frustrating for me is like, okay, when you guys gonna dish this character now?
We can't.
I know.
We've read this is like our fourth different gangster ass, right? Like we had the Wanda Sykes character, the other guy that we the character with the horns, right?
Yeah.
Kind of we see from the Force Awakens.
The pod racing.
The pod race people. And then this guy is like, and Sid. It's like we're the same.
Exactly.
I want imps. They shouldn't be just dealing in the underworld only. And these are like lame underworld people. They're not even cool underworld people.
Yeah.
And I don't mind the fact that these are all new gangsters and new characters and stuff, right? But they're not really.
Yeah, like
so again to that, it's making them grow though in order to help.
It
people.
It is.
It doesn't have to be we're just fighting the Empire.
Yeah,
Empire bad guy. It's showing more out there. So to me, it's showing there's a lot more people who need help, and we can do that. And I think the point of these side ones to show that is because we had no mention of Bad Batch in our stuff. Clone Force 99. So where do they fit into this? Because they weren't a part of it like we think it is. They're out there doing other good for other reasons. Unless they do something with Omega by her power or what it has to do with.
So
that's how I see
Omega power. I'm getting
no. I'm
shooting off Omega beams and
no. I mean because we're still getting to see each one show their stuff, right? Like when Wrecker was lifting the stuff and put it in. I'm trying. I'm hurrying.
Right.
And of course, text the one to hurry and do it.
Yeah.
And I think we still need that kind of reveal for it. So to me, it is showing they're out doing good for other people. Like we're saying, and
it's going to catch up to them.
Instead of a war, right? They're doing good, so they're policing things on their own, like vigilante style. Almost. Yeah, but that's not really what they're doing. They just kind of end up in shitty situations where they're the better people.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. They're not going to save the world from these gangsters, and that's what that's kind of weird because Tech did say that there's people like that, but there's more people like us. They're not doing anything good. They're just working for Sid, who's a horrible piece, right? They were doing stuff here and just stealing from the mine. It's not their mine, but they're in this mine anyway, right?
Right.
They get their ship stolen. That's not them taking care of bad people. That's just them getting their ship back. They weren't,
and they just happen to free.
Right. They're not the
Avengers.
They just happen to be taking care of business. And there's a
lot. And that was a whole 18 plot, even maybe a Knight Rider plot.
For sure.
Like for reals, where he shows up to a spot and I'm supposed to be on vacation, but instead ends up helping. The town or whatever. You get what I'm saying?
100%.
Yeah, that's what I see it as.
Yeah, and I think it's like for us, like for us as a collective, and when we talk about Star Wars and stuff, in the time frame that the Bad Batch is taking place, and these stories going forward, and they're not in hiding. They are like just out there doing their thing. We all know that it's going to catch up to them eventually. The war of the rebels versus empires is going to be hitting ahead here. We know that it's getting dangerous as it progresses, and I think that's where it's like we're 10 episodes in, and I quite honestly I don't think we're any further from advancement of the story from the first episode of this season to the 10th episode, other than they lost Echo to a cause that they're probably going to join, and we get a little bit of the whole Clone Wars being phased out kind of stuff. It's like those are the 2 bullet points that we've got out of 10 episodes. You know what I mean? Yeah. And this is what we do. Okay. And this is what we do. We take content and we bullet point it in and we put in its timeline and we digest it and we have fun with it. We are having fun with it. This is actually fun to talk about. Don't get us wrong. Yeah.
Actually, real quick, can you hit Matt Logic's last comment?
On this stuff,
and you finish your thought, but just make sure to pop that up. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, we're waiting for it to catch up. We're waiting for the background story of Star Wars to catch up to the Bad Batch storyline, and that's where every week we come in like, is this it? No. Is this it? No. And I think that's where, maybe our, levels are. But yeah.
Right. So to this point right here, with how can it be like Solo but not Star Wars? Solo has one thing that this is missing: Imperial presence throughout. Right? Yeah. You see the Imperial presence. I see stormtroopers. I know they're being, held down. I know they're being oppressed on Corellia. I know what's going on there. Plus, we have other familiar aliens and things going on. Plus, you have Han and Chewie, so it's easily Star Wars. You get a Star Wars vibe immediately seeing a Wookiee. Yeah. It's things like that, right? So and I know that seems silly, but you have to throw a couple nods in there of our familiar universe, whether it be a Wookiee or they do a good job at least with the hammerhead. Sometimes you see a hammerhead, you're like, okay.
Right.
It's I'm in my universe, Yeah. But there was nothing in this episode that felt like that universe. We had a couple random aliens that we hadn't seen before, so they didn't feel quite Star Wars-y, right? That's to kind of Joey's point. It could have been any random cartoon, and we'd have been like, all right, it's fine, I suppose.
That's what we're looking at it, and we're like, it's like the more and more we're watching it just doesn't feel like I'm watching a Star Wars show. Yeah,
Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't, right?
Yeah, and then the side missions bring you back to a Star. The Gunji episode brought you back to a Star Wars show. The Emperor Palpatine's episode, but then we got 5 episodes that went this thing and pod. I mean, and even I know the pod racing was very familiar and stuff, but that whole thing, and again, I don't care about Sid anymore. I just don't like if they kill her or not. I don't really care.
Yeah, it's a weird. I mean, that has to go somewhere pretty big, you would think, because this has been a lot of BS for nothing. If not, she has to turn on them. Something big has to happen.
Yeah.
What are the next couple episode titles?
Yeah, so Matt Lodge, he gets it, but we are staring at clones the whole. Yeah,
but are we?
Yeah, exactly. I was just saying.
None of them look like them. And it may be this.
I mean, on paper they're still clones, but these are complete different.
Even their paint schemes are off now. I'm like, nothing here is screaming at me.
We're not following Rex and Cody.
Cody.
You know what I mean? It's
right.
Again.
Does Wrecker and Tech talk like a clone?
No. But I tell you what, if we were following Rex and Cody for a minute, I'd be quite happy. Give me 2 episodes of Rex and Cody and Tech.
Yeah. And again, Matt Lodge,
we had 7 seasons of it, but
I do feel like it's going to catch up to this kind of pacing, and eventually we're going to come to a head. I do feel it. It's like it's there. It's in the background every single week. It's there. But like it's Joey made a point of it, is saying like it would just feel like a random cartoon that if it didn't have the title Star Wars in it, I probably wouldn't watch it. You know what I mean? If this was like and it had everything changed, I was like, oh, that's whatever. It's a fun little adventure. But we like to do.
I think that's what sucks is. But
there are
best episode ever.
Hey, Joey's talking.
What's up,
Scott pops right in the middle of everything, literally, and then interrupts Joey, who's talking for the first time in 3 months. And then we're just supposed to just stop.
Because he's got our Patreon list. That's why.
Continue, Joey.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was going to say. Thanks a lot, Scott.
Come on.
Oh, but I mean, like I said,
I forgot.
If it comes back to you, chime in. Right. It's fine. But yeah, guys. So we'll see where this goes. Yeah, I would agree. We had a Techno Union Army planet, which was very cool, and that whole usage and stuff. I got a very Temple of Doom vibe out of everything here, which was awesome. You had the bridge scene, you had the lava scene. All we didn't have is some guy taking someone's heart out, right? That would have been awesome.
One of these
There's
days.
a lot of homages to certain things, and that's it keeps my
and again, it's beautiful and the sound is awesome.
Yeah,
right. And they do some of the best shots. I swear, like the scenic scenes. Of whether it be the planet or inside or when she was about to fall and they had her up top and they were down by the scenes they have are very
the show is absolutely beautiful.
It is
music, everything. So Matt Logic here. I've seen Resistance. Give me more back. We are with you on that.
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
If I've got a knife to my head or to my throat and like, hey, pick one, it's Bad Batch, no problem.
Yeah, of course.
I don't even hate Bad Batch. It's just not. The thing is, here's the deal. Stop teasing me at the end of a season. That's all.
Yeah, that's what's hurting our. That's hurting our Star Wars egos right now. It's like Mount Tannis. Hello.
Don't mention Mount Tannis if you're going to take 16 episodes to bring it up again. It's Darth Maul all over again with Rebels.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like we're gonna have the big enough payout. And Gordon, I haven't actually watched the episode, and I'm not even afraid of spoilers.
Yeah, I wanted to point this. Like every other show, he wouldn't be saying that. It's
Right.
in this kind of show. It's like just talk about it. Honestly,
There's nothing to miss.
I'm actually going like, hey, what is? If I had a script in front of me the rest of the season, I'd probably read it. Mandalorian, I probably wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like I'm kind of in that, that mode. But yeah, I mean.
Yeah. Well, all I'm gonna say is I'm really glad that Mako keeps his financials right with the information about the shields. It was very convenient.
Yeah.
That was nice play. So this is
this is one of those things. So Michael, what's up, man? What did the rest of the guard droids do after Mako died, following orders of the teens? Yeah, I mean, Mako died. Now you got these droids that were loyal to him, and so what? I mean, now are they loyal to, or they just? I don't know. We didn't get that. We didn't get that answer.
Yeah, I had to think anymore that droids are kind of they can.
Joey kept calling him Moko.
They can
He
free
is Moko. That's all I thought too.
They can free think a bit, right? So once their master's gone, they choose a new one. I would think we've seen revolts, we've seen other things, we've seen them. I think they could.
But also, they were following his orders, and if he's not there to give orders, they would just follow
I
someone
fully
else in
believe
charge.
that Gonki started a whole another revolution.
Oh
We
yeah,
didn't get to see it.
Yeah.
We want to see Gonki, those droids, the decommissioned battle droids.
That
all
would have been
like
an
a-
awesome
like a-
scene,
a
right?
fourth
So they just
faction
look
of
at him.
Star Wars.
They look at him fall over the side, and Gonk stands there, and Gonk, and you see a tear come out of one of the droid's eyes. You're just like, oh, whoa, passionate Gonki.
No, that'd be
And
awesome.
they know what to do.
Hey, another a cool scene in there too was we don't talk about this show being video gamey, right?
Yeah.
It had a total video game scene where they knew they had like 5 seconds or 10 seconds to get down that flame throwing pit,
that's
beat the thing and get out.
That was
It's complete video game right? I was like, oh, he's gonna have to respawn. He's not gonna make it,
And then he ends up inside the hallway, and the flame bursts through the hallway, but he's okay.
Yeah.
He's
It didn't.
completely okay.
Yeah, exactly.
They were okay. They had their face down there the whole time, right?
Looking over
and
the
then
edge.
you saw it blue. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that timing of that bulb, like, oh, there goes their face.
That was
Because
lucky.
that was
That
pretty
was
crazy.
lucky.
Yeah. Because that's steam. I mean, it has to be hot to begin with, right? If it's shooting through there.
Even being there.
But that was pretty funny. We have a minute. And all of them, more than enough time.
So Matt Logic again. So what will Omega need stolen later on that she'll have to come back and ask that kid for help? I mean, oops,
They're gonna have those kids grab their mopeds and head off.
You're right.
On an
here for the
adventure.
other half of my candy bar.
Yeah.
Okay, they've played up some really hungry people making some really fucked up decisions in this instance. The Jedi, the Tales of the Jedi. Remember when they had them all sunken in and Dooku went ape shit, right?
No, Rick Jones, I will not post that comment.
and then this dude's eating a chocolate bar off the floor. I mean, it's been kind of jacked up, So I suppose when looking at that's kind of an Imperial type presence issue, right? They're starving in places that aren't being
Put that one
monitored.
bowl on the table and they all have to fight over it. That's
dude. Well, he's got just shelves of food in his thing, right?
Yeah.
Cooked turkeys or whatever on the shelf. So that was odd. Everything was cooked, but
hilarious.
It was. There are cool things in it, good things to read out of it story wise.
Oh yeah,
it just wasn't enjoyable. And Tech is the only character at all, I think. Maybe Omega a little bit because you guys are kind of forcing it because of the Force, right? I think.
No
she's
pun intended.
I think it intended and taken and screwed up totally. But Tech's the only one I see at all progressing, and it's only because he has more talk time. I'm not even sure if he's progressing. There have been moments of where he's had an epiphany, right?
Yeah,
or had an epiphany about him. So he's probably the only character this whole year that's moved on.
Yeah, Hunter is taking that
Echo leaving.
silent, brooding type, and Hunter said maybe 3 lines this whole season.
For sure,
I thought he was the leader of the Bad Batch. He hasn't done anything.
Omega's the leader.
Oh yeah. You always follow the Jedi, so it's the Jedi and the clone. So it's
Dude, I'm
She's the
trying
general.
not to drop an F-bomb right now. Stop.
I don't see. It's all right. Me and Ernie got this. We got this, and then we will not say I told you so.
It may happen.
It may not be full on, but anyway.
She's Omega Fett, the Jedi Mandalorian
could be
clone.
the Jedi Fett.
Well, Welcome, Scott. I'm glad that you
Hey.
came in here. So I'm glad that you
What's
came
up, nerds?
up here safe and everything. Let's go ahead and get the bingo in there. And I'm kind of curious on how we hit the bingo on this episode, because I mean, I could probably off the top of my head hit maybe 3 or 4 points. I don't know about a lot. So
I'm gonna have to rely on you guys. I was teaching a class today. I couldn't even.
yeah, well,
Well, walk through it. We can
we'll
do
talk.
it.
Yeah, we'll walk through it like
I just need somebody to put a board up.
Yeah.
All right. So I will let you guys call bingo
Yeah.
because I honestly was only half paying attention.
Yeah.
Okay.
So circle gets a square.
I
Always
would say that Tech says how smart he.
I
What?
gotta do this my way, man.
You
Okay,
said you
so we're
didn't
starting
watch
off-
it.
I didn't, but I can call out what's on there. You guys can tell me it's a bingo.
I'll take it from here. All right, Tech says.
All right, you go for
how
it.
smart he is. Tech did not say at all how smart he was.
He didn't
right?
say it, but
He didn't
showed
say it, but he usually says it. And he
Ah.
didn't say, "Well, let me do that," or "Let me do." He passed it to Omega to show how
He
smart
did
she
defer
was.
to her, yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
First time ever.
Yes, he gave it to Omega, and Omega was actually probably the smartest one in here with that gadget she had.
Yeah.
She
yeah.
had figured out what she could do, and she could get gonky. So I'll give her that. That was actually smart stuff. Okay. Narrow escape scene. That's almost
Hunter.
an automatic
Absolutely.
check every
Yes.
time. Omega shows incredible aim. She did not have to fire this time, right?
No.
She threatened, but she didn't fire.
Right, which was a cool scene. Okay, see, there are cool scenes, guys. We'll give credit. I liked her pulled up with the bow back on his face.
I did too.
You
Yeah,
know,
Mega
I
didn't
liked
bug
it.
me this one.
Yeah, at all. Nice point. There's her progression. She didn't bug this episode. At all. Wrecker is confused. I would say yeah, but he snapped out of it.
He was
when they
he
were-
was hangry
Yes.
this episode.
yeah. So I think Wrecker is confused. Gets a check.
Okay.
New building or ship? No, we were in the same damn place we were last week. Really, in the same. We weren't
Yep.
really.
Yeah, there was nothing
there.
new. I just saw.
No, Cody. Did Wrecker hit something? I
he?
didn't. No.
I don't. Yeah, I don't think so.
This
I
is
don't
a
think so.
rough. This is a rough bingo.
Yeah.
Alien creatures attack. There's no attacks in this one.
No.
Omega did tell everyone what to do and how to do with Gonki and everything. It wasn't. I'll tell you that I'll give it a check here, but it wasn't
I will,
telling.
yeah.
It wasn't telling the way she had been telling. It was like we can instead of let's do.
Right.
So I like that. Sad was Omega sad?
Yeah, whenever she was betrayed. I
Yes,
said,
yes, and the hungry people. You shouldn't have
Yeah.
to bet. You shouldn't have to fight for food. So yes, sad Omega.
Okay.
Vintage action figures did not make an appearance.
Nope.
Omega doesn't listen. Was that not applicable?
I don't think
think so.
Oh.
she had a. Yeah. I
This might be a first. Besides,
Yes,
the,
she didn't
besides the
listen
one,
by trusting that guy.
besides the one she wasn't in. The crew splits up. Yes, we decided we're going to
Yep,
give
they-
that one up.
Yeah.
Yep. Rampart, no. Mentioned that they are in debt. I don't think so.
No?
No.
No. Set on stun? No.
Nope.
No.
Tarkin? No.
No Sid. No mission goes back.
Hunter
Well, there was no
doesn't-
mission. I mean,
No. And Hunter doesn't do anything. Even I looked at it once, and he
Hunter
didn't smile
smiled.
when he caught that thing that fell. So that was the only thing he did.
Just,
all
yeah.
episode.
Exactly.
Omega outsmarts someone. Yes, I think she outsmarted everybody this episode.
That's true.
No Rex. No Sid. Mission gone bad, of course.
Always.
Yeah.
No Crosshair. No Palpatine. That's it.
Yeah, but I see the whole mission goes bad. Then this is. I mean, how did it go bad? They got their ship. All the other
During-
missions, like they
During
that just means
they
that,
got double crossed during the mission.
well, like I said,
Their
okay.
mission is to get the ship. They got the kid, the purple hair kid, right? He
Okay,
was part.
I'll give you that then.
Yeah, he's part of the new mission. They were going to be fine, and all of a sudden, he double crossed him.
That and Omega got caught. The guy caught her, right?
Right. That's what I'm talking
boss.
about. The
So
double
that's
cross, yeah.
that's 7 boxes. That's not
Yeah.
bad actually.
For yeah.
I think
we've
last
done
week we had
better.
6 or 7. You know what I mean?
Really?
I think yeah.
All right, then.
It's
I'm
enough
starting
for
to
a
wonder-
bingo. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I'm starting
Yeah.
to wonder where the hell Crosshair is because
I think it was
You know,
12.
Well, we're promised another Crosshair is.
He's
We
going to
got
get a
6
full.
episodes left, and he is coming back. I mean,
He's
that's,
I think he comes back in 12, and then he has a presence thereafter.
continue.
Hope
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, D. Bradley Baker did kind of confirm there's heavy Crosshair content, and things are going to go nuts. Second half
in the
I'm like,
final episode.
Hey,
Right.
I know
It'll be the
I know.
last episode.
But that's kind of how that's going to be. It is because the last episodes were called, like I said, the something about the mountain. in the second to last episode, where
right,
like the summit or something or whatever it was about a mountain. So we're going there.
Yeah,
and then
Saber's episode 12.
And the last episode is Order 99. So those two are going to be obviously cool. Those are the only 2 episodes that nobody's seen. Because
any speculations on 99?
I think it's when they I think they're going to kill the clones. I think the chips
I think so too.
Yeah, they're going to boom, done. They're gone. The only ones that survive are the ones unchipped. The Bad Batch, Rex, Echo, all those guys.
Oh, you think like it's going to be like a shutdown mechanism?
Yep.
Or
it's time. We've got enough conscripts now. F 'em.
So
boom.
Who's the one in Obi-Wan?
Yeah, that one. Maybe he's one that. Well, that's what. But also, I think 99 might be like the whole Jedi thing, where Jedis are like shoot to kill, and then it'll be like a turn, like you see a clone.
Oh,
but they're.
I like a kill. I like a kill switch.
Like a
I like it. Yeah, I like
they
a
just
kill
drop.
Switch.
Well, Ernie,
but remember, G1s were an issue with that chip because they were old. Remember, somebody said something, whether it was in Clone Wars or here, about, I think it was Omega probably saying it. G1s and the chips have an issue, and that's probably why Rex was able to fight it in season 7.
Yeah,
because he's an old school. So that guy
Rick Jones, this is what we honestly, Rick Jones comment: Crosshair gets a lobotomy and becomes a Death Trooper. This is what we want. That's what we verbatim.
That's what we've been hoping for. Exactly, is that. So that he leaves the Death Troopers.
Yeah,
and that's gonna be.
Yeah, 99. Matt Logic is saying also Order 99 self destruct could be.
Yeah,
that would a bunch of heads exploding.
Yeah.
Scanners.
Yeah,
exactly. They all have homages to other movies. Why not?
So who does he tell? Is it like the Emperor telling Tarkin this, and Tarkin gets to hit a switch? Wouldn't that'd be cool, right? Like.
Yeah,
Tarkin.
It would be.
Execute Tarkin. Order 99.
Tarkin's like done. I'm
boom.
I already hit it, sir. Yeah. Yeah.
Or he tells Krennic to, and Tarkin pushes in.
Yeah, it's mine.
Oh my goodness.
There's another surprise. We haven't seen anything or heard anything of Krennic in anything other than Rogue One. I'm hoping he makes an appearance in Andor season 2 at least.
Yeah, same.
But
Krennic right now would be with at the so he'd be working on the Death Star.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to think at the beginning of Rogue One, the very beginning, that time frame when he takes basically Galen back to work on. So plans have stalled. Where was that? Where is that time frame in Bad Batch? Like where?
I got something for Order 99.
Time, I would think.
What if Order 99 turns them almost like into complete robots, but they start loading up the shuttles again, and they're dropped off at the Death Star, and Krennic's the one who the first team comes out to help to be workers on it, and it's Krennic standing there. It's his Death Star.
They basically enslaved the clones to make the Death Star.
Oh, man, that would be even more messed up.
That would be.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm down with that.
But you get what I'm saying? And it is Krennic with Order 99.
It wouldn't even have to be mind control as much as controlling their brain. As far as they know to go somewhere on Order 99, they get there and then they're just trapped there forever. There's no way to. I love it.
You need a lot better than to build a station. So
yes, so
100% better.
I'm so
what's going on now?
That's great. That is so much better than what's going to happen.
Wouldn't
that be cool though? Because then there's our Krennic. There's more telling to how they did get this station built real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see them on the inside of it. Right? Like let's go in the girders. Let's just start seeing. There's gonna be Wookiee slaves in there. I would imagine Geonosians are still working on it. Right? You would think. All sorts of regular people. That's cool. I want that now.
2 dumb clones that leave the Dianoga beast in the trash compactor. Throw it in the trash, right?
Could you imagine though? Okay, so Plan 99 is enslaving the clones and sending them all to Geonosis, where the war started. Where they were doing all the major battles to be enslaved again to build the Death Stars or the Death Star. I mean, mess.
Well, like here's the
that'd be way too cool for Bad Batch.
Yeah, Sabersmith is reminding us it's called Plan 99, not Order 99. So Plan 99. That kind of takes a little different. I mean, that still can take a different. Yeah, it could take the same effect that what Ernie was saying. Plan 99 is now enslave all the clones and put them in there. Instead of Order, but Order was a switch, like they had to obey, I mean, boom, boom, but boom. So that wording is important.
This is 90 other plans from Plan 9 from outer space. So is it going to be
Plan 99?
Make them
just them implementing the first generation of stormtroopers.
Well,
like,
see, but that's maybe actually putting them into play,
making it real,
because it's Warhammer that switches them, really, right?
Yes. Yes. War Machine.
War Mantle.
War Mantle. Thank you.
War Mantle.
Fill in the
War
blank.
Machine is Marvel.
Oh,
and you guys don't like Marvel, but you just admitted it.
I don't not like Marvel.
I'm gonna
by the way,
I don't like Marvel fans.
Sidetrack here, Ernie. I absolutely love that, man. I don't understand why another Marvel fan.
I haven't seen it yet.
I'm not gonna spoil it.
Try this weekend. Oh, okay.
But I'm just saying, I don't know why Marvel fans didn't like it.
I like all the Disney Plus stuff. I'm excited to go see this. I know, and I've been hearing the same thing. Like,
I'm like, okay, guys, I don't know what will please you now, but
exactly.
It was really
I think
good.
it's hard. Again, just how this Bad Batch talk is. We get selfish, not calling us selfish, but we expect something. And that whole build up for Infinity War and Thanos, it's like, how can you top that? What are you going to put in? It's like, but it's not, it's not Infinity War. Just like this. Well, it's not, Rebels or Clone Wars. It's not, know.
Yeah.
I think it's that type of thing. But I really enjoy the Disney Plus stuff.
Oh, yeah, me too. Me too. I just think it's like I said, a little side tangent. I just think it's weird. Like the first time I went to go see it, like I loved it, and I look at all the comments
awesome.
Like, why does everybody hate it? Like I don't understand it. But
cool. I can't.
But yeah, it was fun. A lot of fun. All right, cool. So we got the bingo out of the way. We got the Bad Batch episode. Says we're 10 episodes in, 6 left. But more importantly, guys, I mean, we are 6 days away from Mando season 3. So I
just realized I get to watch it. All the time I didn't think I was going to get to watch it because of when I'm leaving.
Right.
And then Yoko had told me, she's like, it's Tuesday night. And I was like, yeah. I know.
Wait, midnight.
What? Because I'm leaving Wednesday. So I was like, I was totally thinking, God, how am I going to watch this? Like for reals. And then I can't believe that 6 days. Whoa.
Yeah. So I just got done with my revisit of the first 2 seasons. I didn't get a chance to do Book of Fett, but I mean, it's in there. It's in my head and in this whole.
Just watch the last 2 episodes.
Yeah, well, actually, the last 4 episodes of Book of Fett are like out because it goes into the crossover. The Mando crossover, and then the last 2. But I still had such a fun time, and this is like I said, the epitome of Star Wars. When we get together and we talk Star Wars, that's why there's a big difference between Bad Batch and stuff like the Mandalorian. I was telling myself like, revisiting the first 2 seasons, there was magic in those. There was Star Wars magic being remade, just like our original trilogy, and the prequels on paper, right? So and one of our biggest complaints about the Disney era of Star Wars is like they're hit and missing on some magic points on a lot of content. But the Mandalorian is there's such an emotional
home run every time.
Yeah, I'm serious. Like, okay, so I'm gonna jump just a little bit, but like season 2 would really, really just hit us in the face with a epic storyline. But season 1, I didn't think was. I kind of like forgot how good it was. You know what I mean? Because we go into our talk. We find out, things from 3, what they're doing, actors coming in. We talk a lot about the Luke Skywalker intertwining and the Book of Fett and stuff. But like what season 1 did of The Mandalorian, again, just with the first episode, thrusting us into this world after the Empire, thrusting us into the world of bounty hunters, but not just bounty hunters, not just scum and villainy, a whole faction of Star Wars that was mentioned in Old Republic books or EU or Jango Fett, right, was the one that like kind of, brought us into this Mandalorian world that we knew nothing about. And now we're getting like in-depth detail moving into Mando 3 of like the Mandalorian history on live action. We get to see it firsthand and get to experience it. So with my rewatch of the first season, besides Grogu being like the best thing to come out of Star Wars since, I don't know, Rogue One, honestly. I mean, but like we have a household name, guys. We have a character that's beloved by the world.
And we didn't even know his name for a season and a half.
Yeah.
Right. Right. You know, and it was just this huge mystery and this huge thing going forward. And like, you know, it's so funny. Like, you know, we love Darth Vader. We love the dark side. We love the Empire. But Grogu can just look at us and do his little, you know, cooing.
Whatever he does that week. Whatever he does that week is awesome. From the first thing he did was just putting his hand out to Mando, right? Every week after that was what's this kid gonna do? And that just no matter how bad the episode got or filler was, right? Because they weren't really bad. Well, maybe one or two. But then but no matter what it was, he would do something where you're like, well, we got that. So we're
one of my favorite Grogu scenes from season 1. My favorite is probably my least favorite episode, but my favorite Grogu part of it was the you know which one. It was like the
with all the bounty hunt with the underground people with Bill Burr.
No, it was the third episode. It was I'm sorry,
the blue planet. The blue planet with whenever he's got the little soup and that
was one. I mean, yes, that is like that is like the epitome of Grogu right there, you know, slurp while the two are fighting. And that goes and carries on to like, it's like, that's not my favorite episode, you know, it's just kind of like there. Because it got a little too emotional with, you know, stay with us, Mando, and this and that. But I mean, just those little things right there were just amazing. And I do have one for season 2 also, but I honestly think we got some great characters in the first season. I honestly like going back. Cara Dune is awesome.
I was just gonna tell you that same damn thing. The rewatch did the same thing to me. I'm all, I do miss her now.
I do, and even watching both seasons, I'm like sitting there going, okay, because we know Grief Karga and he's in. I'm like, I kind of expecting Cara Dune to show up. I mean,
me too.
It's gonna, and that's why I'm like, you know. I mean, it could be explained. It could be like if she's not there, she's doing something else because Carson Tech.
Just make it final and she got blasted. That's all. You got
that, or she went off to the New Republic and not on because she accepted the medallion from Carson Teka. Not Carson Tech, I'm sorry.
Carson Teva.
Carson.
Thank you.
Teva.
Carson. Yeah, him. That guy.
That random guy.
Yeah, so she's the marshal of the New Republic now. So she actually they can mention her off camera and say that she went off and did her own thing. But after my rewatch, I'm like, you know, I'm kind of missed that character because I thought she was really cool.
She was, and even to the point where it got to the finale with the guns and where she was blasting through the hallways.
It was amazing. Dude.
It really was, and I'm mad that I very much did not care because I didn't want to get into the political mess of it. And I was just like, you know what, screw it, don't need her, right? But like you said, on a rewatch.
Well,
that's jacked up.
Yeah. Got hit by asteroids.
Nebulous B here. That is messed up. That's David, who is the interviewer in the show that.
Yes.
That's Nebulous B. Nice. That's really messed up, man.
So for the listeners at home that it said died on the way back to her home planet.
Yeah, just ran headfirst into an asteroid.
Yeah, and that could be, you know, Grief Karga's mention, a fleeting mention of how Cara Dune died. So somehow Cara Dune died. That's exactly what it is. And everybody's all, okay. Right? Oh, man.
Afterwards, Ernie checked out.
We knew what he was doing. Yeah,
we're getting too close.
He'll be back. So. Yeah, but I mean, how are you guys feeling on like that first season? Like you know, I don't want to take up all the mic time on it because I can.
I've been just rewatching. I haven't gotten back to season 2 yet, but I've been watching season 1, and you're right. Everything gets kind of overshadowed by, you know, Luke Skywalker's appearance and Ahsoka's appearance in season 2 and Book of Boba Fett and all that. And you just go back to the bare bones of forgetting everything it's kind of hard to unlearn what you have learned.
Right.
If you go into it and think, God, what we know now compared to that, and just where the story was going and all that, the season 1 still holds.
It does, man.
It just still holds up with the season, with the rest of it. So
and it felt Star Warsy from the beginning. Back to that conversation we had earlier, right? Number one, you're on a desert planet starting off, right? Pretty much, and you're gonna we started with the speeders, right? You started with the speeders on the ice planet.
Yeah.
That's where we started.
But you had a squid head.
Yeah,
you start off with a squid head in the bar.
Yeah,
you started off there, and then we had a Kubaz doing the flute and speeders coming up with. I mean, it was very Star Warsy from the beginning. But once you got into the story, what I mean is most of it takes place. Oh my God, help me with this. Navarro, thanks.
Yeah.
Which is
I got that right.
Which is reminiscent of a Tatooine or a Batu or anything else, right? So it feels Star Wars there. You're dealing with somebody who looks like Boba Fett. You have a side character by the end who looks like IG-88. And this is what we're wanting to do, right? This is the things we always wanted to see. So it's making it Star Warsy there.
And Ugnaught. An
Ugnaught. We're pew-pewing everywhere. And then you get a little Yoda. I mean, right off the bat, after episode 1, that's how you do a premiere in 35 minutes. Is you hit them with fucking everything, dude. And you're like, oh, stop. Lasers and planets and aliens and Mandos and IG-11.
Very familiar.
Yeah. And a badass IG-11 with a self-destruct, right? Yeah. I mean, that was awesome. They also had comedy, and drama, and stormtroopers.
And Nikto, and it hit you on every level of Star Wars.
That was the best premiere of pretty much any show without a two-parter, right?
And it was, and that was also, wasn't that Disney Plus's debut? I mean, that was like, welcome to Disney Plus, have everything you've ever wanted.
Exactly, 100%. That was the debut of Disney Plus. I remember tuning it on, and there's the Mandalorian, and episode 1 dropped that day. Midnight.
Brilliant episode. I mean, it was great, top to bottom, from start to finish. It was perfect. All of his catch lines were in there, right? That this is the way, and I could bring you in warm, or I could bring you in cold.
We had three phrases to add into our repertoire. Yeah. This is the way. I could bring you in warm. I could bring you in cold, and I have spoken. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Very quick. Yeah, you're right.
And immediately they just fit. Everything fit. It wasn't forced. It wasn't an I love you 3000 kind of moment. It wasn't that.
See, Ernie's not here. We can say this stuff right now before he gets back. So.
Yeah. But that's a very clean point, right? Like, you have to force that. It doesn't go. The next day we have This Is the Way shirts. And that's I have spoken shirts. They were all over the place. I still have yet to see I Love You 3000.
No, it's not going to happen.
Even whenever the Jawa episode dropped, and they were talking about the egg, the Suka at Disneyland. Everybody's running around going Suka.
I mean, we started a chant, and everybody knew what it was, and it was like the day before it dropped, or day after it dropped, man. So, Joey, get in this conversation, man. Where were you at season 1 of this Mandalorian? Were you skeptical going in, or
it caught me off guard? I remember I told you off camera today that this is the best Star Wars I've gotten, because I keep going back to it. Yeah, I tried going back to Kenobi, and like I said, I watch it, and I find myself forwarding to the Darth Vader scenes.
Sure,
or just turn it off. With Mando, I'm not doing that. I'm sick of COVID, and the first thing I do is put on Mando.
Yeah.
Are you feeling better, man? I meant to ask.
I'm starting to feel a little better.
But that's how I just. Oh,
that's Kent. That's Kent Solace right there. On
hey Kent, local boy from Tatooine.
Blue Milk Podcast.
Blue Milk Podcast. That's right. We need to put your Kent. I'm gonna have to start.
He loves us 3000.
Yes, he loves us 3000. But Kent, thank you very much, man. We'll go see you, and if you're still making coffee.
He's not.
Sure. Okay, forget it. No,
he decided to further his career.
No, see,
even though he made the best,
nothing lasts forever. Around. Yeah, but yeah, man. Like, I gotta ask you guys too. Like, I didn't know this. I was spoiler free moving into Mandalorian the first season. I didn't know there was gonna be a Baby Yoda at the end. So as
nobody did.
So that last 30 seconds of the thing, I stood up and was like, what is that? Like, what is going on, dude? Like, what? Oh, how? You know what I mean? Okay, so if you
how did you keep it secret?
If you told there's gonna be a Yoda species baby, and this is gonna be the whole
he's the main character going forward for Star Wars.
I would have been like, I would have been like, oh, come on, dude, that's a little like whatever. So all of us not knowing that Grogu was going to be a thing, and I saw that, I was blown away. I don't think I went to sleep that night. Like, honestly, I was like, I think we were calling each other, texting each other. I mean, it was like, guys, did you know this? You know, and yeah, like, Scott, how did this not leak? Or it didn't get to our ears. I don't know if anybody
leak out at all.
Didn't hear it anywhere. It really, threatened people over there at Disney.
It wasn't publicly leaked, and they did have a stand-in for the baby. It wasn't like always him.
Yeah.
So
it was a very small group. There was Plo Koon at one time. There was lots of different stuff that
they tried to trick their own cast and crew. Yeah.
Ernie, are we in trouble now because we figured everything out? Since you were taking a call from Disney, right?
No, you guys you're good at everything.
Okay.
Yeah, you're all right. All totally wrong.
And I love the fact that right after that premiere, we got that picture of George Lucas, right?
Oh, holding Grogu with
with Ahsoka in the background, and we never saw it.
Yeah.
That was the best.
That's right.
We don't see that again for a season and a half, and Ahsoka was in like that first picture of George Lucas and Grogu.
Yeah.
We suck. All the things we see, all the shit we look at, man.
And we didn't get
didn't see Ahsoka right in front of us. Like, who missed that? I don't want to look at any pictures.
That's just Dave Filoni swinging it out there, going, "Watch this."
Really?
Yeah.
They're not going to see a thing because that baby's going to be
because that baby
George
took
Lucas.
all the focus. on it, man.
No, George Lucas holding the baby took that's the two biggest things you could do to a Star Wars geek right then. Like, oh man, the creator and the kid. There's no way you don't realize that.
We are so easy. Like, so everybody thinks that Star Wars fans are hard to please and stuff. Just if George Lucas stamps it with approval, we stamp it with approval. It's kind of like it's a hard thing to fight it. You know what I mean? Like I didn't see anybody or hear a thing about anybody hating Grogu. We'll call him Baby Yoda at this point because he's not Grogu until season 2. I didn't hear anybody fight that and it going forward. Like the whole season as a whole, you look at it and the whole with the knob on the ship.
Anybody was talking about. That's all you ever heard was Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda. Right?
All you heard.
Yeah, the child, the baby, the kid.
I'm
all
gonna
this
be
stuff.
110% honest with you guys. I totally knew the whole time. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to be completely honest. As a matter of fact, I'm still not happy with Grogu. For some reason, it just doesn't roll off the tongue for me.
The name.
Yeah, it hasn't grown on me at all. From seeing merch to everybody saying it to even when he said it for the first time.
Right.
Huh? Grogu. Like even he had to. That's how I say it every time I hear it.
Yeah.
Funny.
I really wish that it was another name.
That's funny. I would have made
you like it.
I thought it was the opposite. I thought the opposite point just recently when I was doing the rewatch. I'm all Grogu. I'm all, you know what? And I was having that thought through my head. I'm all, when this first came out, I wasn't sure about it. Kind of sounded gross. Didn't feel like a little
yeah.
But now I'm like, no, that's Grogu. Just the way Yoda's Yoda. And it's funny. Yeah. Matter of fact, I hate Yaddle's name more than I hate Grogu. Right? I think
why does it have to be so similar?
Yeah, it's too close. It's too
I almost hate Yondu's name just because it's close, but
And that's what I was going to say. Did they have to go with Grogu because they couldn't use Yondu? Like they were like, man, come on.
All of Yoda's species starts with a Y. It's just a blanket.
Yeah. I'm glad that got fixed.
Yeah. So again, that was going, kind of like jumping all around too. That was one thing that we did hear a rumor of, that we were going to get Grogu's real name in season 2. We did hear a rumor of that.
Yeah.
And on paper, I didn't like that aspect of it. Just like if someone told me we're going to get entire Yoda species and Yoda's history on everything, I'm like, no, I don't like it because it should be mystery. Leaves things up for our interpretation. It's just our talk is better that way. Just like explaining the Force with midichlorians, it's just better not to. So, but when the name came out, I was kind of like, oh, that's it. That's the name. It never bothered me though. Like even to this day, it doesn't bother me because it could be worse, right? It could have been real worse as far as like, whatever his name could have been.
Could have named him Groga.
Yeah, exactly. It could have been like a Yaddle type situation where it was kind of like, whoa, a little bit too,
This is Yogu.
Yeah, this is yogurt.
Yogurt.
Yes. So again, one thing that we looked 4 in a Star Wars show, and I've done this. Chris and I used to, every time a Star Wars movie come out from 1999, it's like, what are we going to get new? What troopers? What ships? What everything? And yes, they use a lot of familiar characters in the Mandalorian, like to get us thrust into that Star Wars world, which I appreciate a lot of. There's one thing about going to, okay, I'm gonna have to like do the whole geek thing. Ant-Man or Guardians of the Galaxy. I'll just put Guardians uses a lot of strange aliens, like strange, like cucumbers walking around and all these things, and you have to just buy into that. That's why I didn't like Star Trek. It's like you put a dot here, dot here, dot here, and they're all 3 different kind of aliens. But Star Wars did a very good job at giving us familiar, but adding in new characters and thrusting us into that world. We got IG-11 instead of like IG unit, and it was just a complete separate thing. It was like a brand new character or a brand new thing I'm seeing for the first time, even though we had IG-88. You know what I mean? The characters were so good, for them bringing us, into,
But think about it, the 2 main characters, Din Djarin and Grogu, we didn't know their names till how many episodes in?
We didn't know Din's till the finale.
The last one.
And Grogu to the next.
You don't even know their names, and
you're right. It's a one-way conversation.
Yeah.
And it's one-way eye contact.
Right.
Right? There's like no it's such a weird way to have a relationship like that. That's weird, yeah.
And also
and not know each other's names.
Yeah, and there was a lot of criticism, remember, about Pedro Pascal not taking his mask off, and it could be anybody under there, and it's all this thing. And
so what? Thank God he didn't.
That's the whole thing. It's like, okay, and then when we got that payoff at the end, when he was all beat up and IG-11 fixed him and all that stuff, and it was kind of like it didn't bug me, And I think knowing what we know now and going back and stuff, those things get lost. So just like the Bad Batch, just like what we do with the Bad Batch, we do a show, so we talk about it. But we are going to, once we have those payoffs, we'll definitely have this whole different vision and version and what we talk about, how it all pays off and how it's Star Wars.
That's going to pay off in 3, right? Because you talked about the helmet thing. The IG-11 helmet takeoff was fine. Yeah. The one on your planet you didn't like, right? That takeoff was fine because he has to eat,
I didn't mind. Yeah, exactly.
And nobody
but the
saw
last,
it. Nobody
right. Either. Even though he was in the window where the kids were playing. I mean, I know. Let's not hide in the closet and eat our chicken.
Yeah.
But the last one where he had to take it off. Well, once for Grogu and once for the Imperials on the base, right?
Oh yeah.
So he's had to take it off twice. I forget about that one. I only
and Luke's got in the very end the rescue.
That's the one I think about for Grogu. That's what I mean. I always only think about that one. I forget about the Bill Burr episode.
Right.
But that's gonna be it's gonna pay off. That's gonna be the whole point of 3, right? Is getting him redeemed, man.
Yeah. I wonder if it's gonna be the point though where this is going into Mando 3 lore. This is what we do, guys. Brace yourselves. I wonder if it's going to get to the point where he becomes a Bo-Katan, Boba Fett, where it's always, he doesn't, he loses that Children of the Watch aspect in that cult following. He goes, not. Really?
Yeah, I hope not, because Boba Fett lost his mystique once we started seeing his face all the time. Yeah. Whenever I first saw Jango Fett and he had his helmet off, I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. He's not Boba Fett. It's his dad. That's fine.
Right.
But then in the Book of Boba Fett, it's like, oh man, this thing is uncomfortable. Oh man, it's a little stuffy in here. Oh man, I got to sneeze and I don't want to get it on my visor. Every freaking 5 seconds he's out of his helmet, and it's like, put your helmet on. And that was the cool thing about the Mando. It's whenever he took his helmet off, it was a significant moment. There was a reason for it. It was to say goodbye to Grogu because he didn't think he was ever going to see him again. It was to save their lives because he knew that the mission and the kid would not be safe if he didn't take his helmet off and have his face scanned at that moment.
Right.
It was taking his helmet off.
It was all for the kid. Yep.
Everything he does is to save Grogu.
Right.
And every choice he's made to remove that helmet has been to save Grogu.
Yeah.
So now that he's got the kid and the kid's, leave the damn helmet on.
Well, yeah, Michael Nostalgia is agreeing with you. Keep the helmet on.
What I would dig is that Mando eventually gets redeemed, takes over Mandalore with all the Mandalorians again. So we've got Mandalore kind of restacked, and he makes it the way, and they all keep their helmets on from now on, unless they're on Mandalore.
So
we can still get them taking their helmets off when they're on base, like on Mandalore, or on their ship if they're only around each other. But they can't show their face to outsiders.
Right.
That would work for me.
That would be good. That would be good. Yeah,
that makes sense to me, right?
Because
think about it, they have to reproduce. Right, they've been sitting on there. They're going to sit there and bang with their helmets on all the time. That's just wacky.
Chris, do you know how that works? I mean, you don't need
kind of kinky.
I mean,
no, I understand. Once in a while,
one thing, not the helmet.
Well, once in a while, I want the helmet off too. There's, see, look at him. But
Boba keep spurs on.
Not that I've thought about it before, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a one-trick pony. I need the helmets off. Okay, so
they're clanging like someone's dropping pots and pans in the kitchen.
There's no hiding that.
Right.
There isn't at all. Like, quiet at night.
But no, they just find foundlings. That they don't reproduce. They just find foundlings. So it's like,
my God,
they just steal people.
But
like the Jedi.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And Andor's mom.
Everybody's stealing kids.
That's right.
Everybody. Oh, there's a kid in danger. Let me take him planets away. Right? Like if I did that in Victorville, I saw a kid on the corner. This kid isn't going to be safe on this corner, and then I moved to Arizona. That's not cool. That's what they do all the time. Oh, there's a kid here. He's in danger. We're moving to Tatooine. We're moving to Timbuktu.
Yeah, 100%.
Star Wars is jacked up.
Yeah, I mean, before we get into like the season 2 stuff,
this is going to go.
We barely got through season 1 stuff.
Before we get into that kind of stuff, because the season 2 really took a turn from what season 1 did, But we did get like the one thing that I absolutely loved is the sentiment of the Empire trying to survive. They're on survival mode. I watched that. I mean, even going back to the Carl Weathers episode,
the clone episode,
the Sanctuary. That's what it's called, the Sanctuary.
Yeah.
And they
that's the cookie. That's the cookie episode, right?
No? Yeah.
No, the Sanctuary.
I'm jumping ahead. I think.
Oh, okay.
The Sanctuary is the blue planet with all the blue stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
Carl Weathers episode
was.
Right. Is it The Reckoning, or I don't remember which one he directed.
Real quick about before we wrap season 1 up. I know we kind of did. What I really liked about The Mandalorian better than all the other shows is there are consequences and we lose people that we like. Yeah. We lost Quill and we lost IG-11. Those are consequences.
Yes.
And sacrifices
Thank
made.
you for saying that. That. That's an important thing about Star Wars. And I know that going back to the original trilogy, we only lost Obi-Wan quote unquote, you know what I mean? At the hero survived.
Poor Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru. They always get left out of the mix. I mean,
but there is
consequences. Quill is gone. IG-11 can probably be resurrected. Not a big deal. He's a droid. But Quill is. We liked him. He helped. Good guy and dead. That's good stuff. I like the show.
No, it's the consequences thing that I like about Star Wars and especially Disney Plus. I don't think everybody's safe. Even going into both seasons, I'm like, I'm thinking like anybody can.
I think Din is in danger at some point. I think Din can die before this whole thing is over.
Before it's all said and done.
I think Din should die before this.
If we're going to one of our theories about Grogu in the future, then it makes perfect sense. Yeah, it makes perfect sense that he will.
Oh, by the way, I also during that ceremony, the purifying or whatever, the Mando ceremony, where he changes it, I want Boba Fett to become a Mandalorian so he can't take his shit off in Boba Fett season 2.
There we go.
I'm wrapped up with that one now. There we go.
I like it. But in season 1, it was really. I like the fact that he had the brand new armor. It was all shiny and stuff. It was the first time we'd ever seen like fresh Beskar armor.
Yeah,
I thought that was cool. I loved the way that he was able to get the mud horn on his pauldron. There's a reason why he got the sigil. Yeah. It's not just a mythosaur skull that everybody has. It's a clan thing.
Yeah.
But not clan with a K. That would be bad. It's
exactly.
There was a
100% right.
a lot in season 1 that was really cool. He got the jetpack for the first time, and we got to see what a whistling bird does. I didn't know what those things were before that happened. I mean, there's so much cool crap that came out of this first season.
Yeah, there is. And one of the best things was we were just like Star Wars, the opening shot, we were thrust into his world. he was already on a job doing this stuff, and then throughout flashbacks and stuff, we get the backstory of him going forward. It wasn't an origin story. It really wasn't, because it's not like this guy becoming a Mandalorian or becoming a Child of Watch or whatever. It was, he had a purpose, and it's like thrust into his story, and he was thrust into the Star Wars story with Grogu.
And the little bit of origin that we got from him was all we needed. The flashback to the Clone Wars, the being thrown into a cellar. I mean,
being rescued by Death Watch.
Rescued. Yeah, exactly. That's all we need. We don't need anything. We don't need to go through episodes and seasons of how he was trained and
not for Din. We need that for Grogu for a little bit, but only one episode. But
Grogu now,
we don't need it for Din. Yeah. Din's done for his beginning. Yeah.
But we're getting that in Grogu too. We're getting little bits and flashbacks of, this is what happened, and
I like that storytelling better.
Story,
yeah.
Which is great.
We'll get his full story though. Yeah. I have zero doubt. We'll get it from Order 66 up until why he was with the Nikto.
I think if we do though, it'll be in small little nuggets, and we don't need the full thing fleshed out. We don't need to see, he was I don't know. We don't need the full in-depth background. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I would kind of because I don't think he was awake for most of it, so I don't think you're gonna have to deal with some of it. I think he was like frozen in carbonite or frozen in something or in that amber stuff we talked about, right? Mm-hmm. I think he was there for a while, so he won't be much. But we just need that. Where did he go? How did he get there? Who was taking him? And how did the Nikto get him? Right?
Well,
and that's really
right.
And weapons are my religion.
And I'm kind of right.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of now on those Nikto being another. Marco's talked a lot about different facets of Imperials, right? Different sections of doing this. And Gideon, Giancarlo had said that's what kind of the case is, that Gideon feels that his way is the way to run their new empire, but there's others out there. I think their way is the way. And I think that's one of those people who tried to get him kidnapped, and that's what was going on.
I think that's where we're two warring factions.
Well, so
who I'll say it was, but I don't know that it was him. But yes.
Watching season 2 again, and or even his Moff Gideon's dialogue, saying that why he had Grogu when he had him in the prison thing with the Darksaber to his throat almost. He was saying, I got what I need from him because we're going to basically make the Empire great again. And here's my thing. And that's where I was like, okay, Moff Gideon is working for Palpatine, who's working for this whole thing. And then there's this other, maybe Thrawn and his faction or whatever that's going on. And like I said, I would love two warring factions of a power vacuum, but Moff Gideon knows this bigger picture. He's part of the First Order of the rise of the First Order. He's, because we're going to need that. We're going to need some catalyst here.
I want to think that Gideon is using the clones for different reasons now, right? I want to think that there's two different, they all know the cloning things that exist, right? These Moffs figured it out. That he wants to do it to give himself power, right? He's obviously obsessed with Mandalore and then that culture. And do you want me to go into a rumor real fast?
Sure.
About Gideon. Sure. Does anybody else have an object to a Gideon rumor?
There's a rumor, grain of salt.
About what he's wearing.
If our people in the chat want to mute us for a minute, you
just give it a moment. But one of his things is he's obsessed, obviously, with Mandalorian culture, right? Because he has the Darksaber. He also wears a black Mando helmet with 6 horns.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know if he's trying. Now that takes me to this point. I'm hoping there
he goes. Damn it.
I'm hoping the cloning stuff is because he wants to be force sensitive, like a force sensitive Mandalorian type of thing.
Okay. I never went there.
Trying to bring Palpatine back. That's Thrawn's job. Right? There are two different reasons to use Mount Tannis. And that's what the war's coming. So Gideon's thinking it's my way. We make ourselves this. We can rule. Whereas Thrawn is, we can bring back Palpatine. This is the plan.
Let me ask you this. Though.
Stop giving credence to Omega getting injected with midichlorians and becoming a force.
She don't need injected. She's already.
But that's the testing, right?
Let me ask you this as a Thrawn expert. I consider in the thing, you've read all the books and stuff. Would Thrawn be more comfortable with a empire that's ruled by military rule only, or have a Sith at the head?
He already had a military. He already had a Sith at the head.
Yeah, exactly. He already did it, right?
He'd be more comfortable militarily. He wants himself in charge.
So this is where I'm saying Thrawn
possibly,
would be opposite.
But He also wants the most powerful, right? And then I think if he thinks he can, because it's not going to be the New Republic. Right. Mon Mothma's weak. She's going to demilitarize. Yeah. He thinks that's going to be a bad move. He knows that's going to be a bad move. He's a military man, right? So he's going to have to try to build something himself outside of the Chiss ascendancy.
Yeah, because Gideon to me feels like he wants to rebuild the Empire the way it was. Because he says, "I want to bring peace to the galaxy as it was."
Yeah,
and that's to me. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm kind of like, okay, I think Moff is trying to rebuild or build back what they lost. And another faction is working against it. Like, no, we're going to rule military galaxy, but it's going to be without the Sith and out their powers because they're the ones who got us here in the first place. They're the ones who got us killed in the first place. So I don't know. These are all speculations.
Obviously. It could go either way. But I think if he had knowing how powerful the Force is, knowing that they have Skywalker and maybe others, right? He'll know about Ahsoka. He'll know about Cad. He'll know about all these other people, right?
Mm-hmm.
He'll need a Force user, and why not have the loyalty of the most powerful one that died and they had a plan to bring him back? And why not go with that? Then he has his loyalty too. Plus, at this point in their lives, they should get some Islamir. We should see that somewhere, right? That's going to have to play a part, especially if Thrawn is in Ahsoka. If he doesn't have an Islamir near him, there's a problem.
Yeah, and also, sorry, Scott, real fast, just because I'm losing this. Also, which faction, which head is aware of Palpatine's contingency plan? Thrawn. That would be exactly. So if we get hints of that in Ahsoka, that he's got the Sentinels or whatever they come, I forgot what they call them, those robot dudes with the Emperor's face, and if he's got one with them, then we know it's okay now.
Dude, that would be freaking sick if they
wouldn't it?
Those.
What even like I said, it could be Gideon at the same time, where the contingency plan is to do this, but then Gideon needs an army. Let's go with the Mandalorian to rule Mandalorian. Now he's got a self-made army because he's holding. There's so many different splits that this thing can go, and I mean, obviously, we have to be right on one of them. I mean, jeez.
There's so many splits, but at the same time, at this point, what are we 25 years from the sequel trilogy?
Yeah,
approximately. So I mean, there's plenty of time for all of this to happen. So I keep going back to thinking it's 20 years, like it was 18 years, like it was between the prequels and the original trilogy.
Right. Yeah.
No, it's over 30 years. So
it's like 33. 33 years, I think, between Return and Force Awakens. So there's,
and we're already 6 years,
and we're 6 years in. Yeah.
Past,
so there's a lot to go for it. But like going by the books, the Aftermath books, it's like
it was 30 years, not even quite 30 years. Ben was 29. Yeah, 30 years. Ben was 29 at Force Awakens.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So just at 30 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But I mean, so what Mandalorian season 2 did?
It hit us with everything, right? It went from him going and collecting things to collecting people.
Yeah. So
it kicked off with Cobb Vanth. I mean, and the Boba Fett armor and actual Boba Fett in the background. I mean, it did the same thing that the season 1 premiere did, and that is hit you over the head with everything you wanted to start seeing.
Crate Dragon.
It made you want more.
Tusk. Yeah. Right. I mean,
Pelimoto. I mean, who doesn't want more Pelimoto?
Yeah.
I mean,
I know. I don't.
Stop.
Joey doesn't. That's 2.
Whatever.
I'm good.
I want a Pelimoto and Dr. Mandible spinoff.
I wouldn't. I would have to watch
fun.
it.
It'd be animated and it would be great.
Slap Star Wars on it, and Marco will watch it. You know, so I would.
And we'll complain about it on Wednesday.
I would hate watch that shit out of it. Right. So it's like
he's pre-mad.
Yeah.
He's pre-mad over a rumor of something that's never going to happen
ever.
Yeah. And so like, this is the whole thing about like, you got season 1 on our lap and we're like, how can they top it? They give us season 2 and it's like now it's the Star Wars world coming into the Mandalorian in big time fashion and setting up all these things and setting up other movies and spinoffs. And it's like, how are they going to top it in 3? And it's like going into this Mando thing, but 2, looking back at it, like you take a step back and you look at the 8 episodes and you start name dropping and you're like, oh my God. Like if you told me that beforehand, and in fact, we kind of knew, we had some more rumors because a lot of things get leaked. You know, I think Rosario Dawson was rumored to play Ahsoka, but not necessarily in Mandalorian, right? It was like to play Ahsoka at X point. Michael Biehn was rumored to play. There's like all these actors, and it all came like every rumor that we heard came true.
Yep.
And in probably the most epic fashions too.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And the Luke. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just about to go there. The Luke Skywalker thing. I don't remember hearing a rumor about Luke Skywalker at all. I remember it being a massive surprise to the point where I'm sitting there watching the X-wing pull into the hangar, and I'm like, how many stripes are on those wings? And then you see a figure get out and it's robed, and you're like, no, they can't be doing this.
And then the green lightsaber.
And you're like, no, wait, who else had a green lightsaber?
Serious.
You see a gloved hand, and you're still going, no, they wouldn't. They couldn't.
Same thing.
How could they?
Same reaction.
And then all of a sudden, hood down, it's Luke freaking Skywalker.
I had another stand up, and I was like, they're not doing this. They're not doing it. And I mean, in a good way, like, oh crap, they did it. They went there, just like in Rogue One. They did that part.
Luke too. Taking down the troopers, the dark troopers that everybody else was having issue with, that Din sat there and fought for 4 minutes and about died, right? Just a little while ago. And Din's been taking
against one of them.
Well. Against one. He's taken out the entire squadron, like walking.
Annihilates them.
Right.
I mean, Dad had the hallway scene. Luke had the hallway scene. It was perfect.
But then he got to the door and was stuck.
Well, I think he wanted to make a dramatic answer. I don't think he wanted to
dramatic.
Slice the door open for them to shoot at him. He was
just
like,
open it. I don't understand. I'm never going to understand the Force. I'm never going to.
He could have knocked. Yeah, doors are a tricky. Maybe those pages were missing. Maybe it's part of the dark arts or something. You never want to intrude.
Only Sith. No, Sith can't open doors either.
No, none of them.
On the Death Star, Vader got stopped from going to the Falcon because the door closed on him. It's like, you can't.
Oh damn it! Now I got to take the way around.
Not the blast door.
Midichlorian kryptonite is that's a door. That's what a door is.
Don't shut it, damn it.
That's so funny. But yeah, guys, go ahead.
I was just going to say season 2, we had Luke, we had Ahsoka, we had Bo-Katan show up.
Bo-Katan, yes, yeah.
Right. I mean, we had Frog Lady. It was amazing. I mean, they were all there.
That was my other, the Frog Lady episode was my other Grogu, probably the best moment in Grogu history. When he was eating the eggs and in the end, when it concluded, and he looked over at her and she hugged the whole canister, and he turned back and he just had that last egg. He's all, shoot. And I was like, this motherfucker.
The Frog Lady with human feet.
And the level
characters
of people,
remember that show New Zoo Review?
Yeah.
And the level of
R2D2,
people freaking out on the internet over the eggs, over the fake eggs. And
I know.
Really people, they don't really exist. I mean,
he's eating baby. Shut up.
Now we'll never have frog people.
We all eat eggs.
Yeah, R2D2. Most importantly, we got R2D2 cameo. I mean,
and I normally wouldn't say that, but in that scene, it really was probably the most important bit at the end there to get Grogu to go. Right, like it was really, really important.
So you sent us pictures of a Hobby Lobby last weekend of a Grogu and R2, and had a painting.
Yeah,
and we all were like, we're just kind of like tired of the Grogu merchandise, right? But then I got seen that again. I'm like, I got to run to Hobby Lobby and grab.
Did you get it?
No, not yet. But I think I have to. I honestly think I have to. I think it's one of the when R2 leaned forward and Grogu's looking. I'm like, come on, dude! Like, how can Star Wars get any more emotionally tied to us?
It's clean. It just doesn't fit my style. That's all. Or else I would have got it. If I was a nice guy, I'd have got it.
Rick Jones of Bo-Katan gets the Darksaber. He predicted it here first.
See, and there's a case for it that they'll give it back to her, but I think she's had her time, man. I think she's gonna bend the knee to Din.
Something's gonna get to Din and be like,
she's not gonna survive.
Better. Yeah.
I don't think she's going to survive. If that Darksaber is not in her hand, it's because she has died in the process. She will not concede to anyone.
Yeah. She might.
There is no way.
She might die in the to help Din keep the Darksaber is what I'm thinking. She wants it. We know maybe she's going after it, but eventually, like I'm just like kind of fast forwarding, so maybe she dies helping him keep it. From Gideon, from whoever, I know Gideon's captured at this point, but we don't know what's going on. But maybe, I don't know. She wants it. She's on the throne. We've seen the trailer, like she's waiting for him, whatever. So there's going to be some conflict there. Din doesn't want it, and he's either going to accept it and be like, I'm going to have to take up the mantle of Mandalore and rule and stuff, and then something's gonna happen, and I'll say that Bo, if she dies, and it's gonna be to help Din keep the saber after their own conflict.
Like, you know what I mean? Her and Gideon have the showdown.
Should we do a pick right now with all 5 of us? Who we think is going to end up with the Darksaber?
Oh, I think Din Djarin at the end of the he'll keep it.
Din.
Yeah,
that's my prediction. I honestly do think it's going to be Din.
I think he's. You don't think it's going to trade hands again? You know what I mean? It's not going to trade hands again until he dies and gives it to Grogu, and Grogu inherits it.
You don't think Boba Fett?
Nah, I don't know. I don't know. Ernie thinks
you want
Boba Fett.
Ernie?
Is that what you want, Ernie? I mean,
anything.
like you want?
Yeah, I want to see Boba
to him
Fett.
to leave Mos Espa and rule Mandalore.
It would something would happen in
that's like a promotion
storyline, type thing.
Like you did good on Mos Espa, now you get a whole planet.
Yeah,
but he didn't do very good on Mos Espa. So.
Well, Mandalore is a shit show right now.
Okay,
so
he's bringing everybody together.
Right.
So Boba and Fennec are walking away from their big battle, and he says, "I don't think this is the life for me," or something along those lines. Why would he want the Darksaber? He can't even handle Mos Espa, much less.
No, just as Din showed up for a favor for him, now Din's going to call that favor back. That I need Boba, and it's going to happen that way. And he's going to try and reject it, and they're going to be like, "No, this is your family." I mean. Then we get into the whole Django and what's his name?
Oh,
Jaster Moreel.
Yeah, and
he'll be a Mandalore by the end. I'm sure he'll be a Mandalorian.
Yeah. Does he want to take it and accept it? No, maybe not. But I think it can happen that way.
Yeah, I don't think he'll have the Darksaber. That was originally my thought, that he would take over and rule Mandalore at the end. That's kind of EU type stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I really think they've made it to where Din's taken his place in just about everything. Boba's kind of old.
And the way that it is too is, but I mean, that's where he could be. This whole family and respect thing is that he falls into it with that. And Mos Espa, Fennec was the one making the choices and doing everything there.
Stays.
So she got rid of everybody. So that's her way to stay there. And it's still another hold or another arm that Boba has out there.
Yeah.
Right.
Is Fennec with Mos Espa and everything. Yeah. I see it in that sense. We saw the whole togetherness and the family with the Tusken Raiders. He's trying to do that here. It really doesn't work out. She had to make those decisions in the call. He's going to fall into it here. In real life.
Yeah, he'll be a Mandalorian with family. Now I see him more like as Din Sergeant at Arms after this is done, like Fennec was for Boba.
Mm-hmm. See, as you guys go into this, and as you guys go into Book of Fett and the theory crafting on his future, I go back to what he did in season 2, and how he got his armor back, how he introduced himself to Din, and how he fought with them, and he was like doing this stuff, and at the end credits he took over Jabba's palace. I'm pretty good with leaving it there. Like, I know we didn't because we got Book of Fett. I'm not mad at Book of Fett. I'm just saying that epicness of Boba Fett stayed, that mystique of Boba Fett stayed intact at that point of the end credit scene. Mm-hmm. Overly explaining roles and his transition, like that's what Filoni and Favreau did. They used Boba Fett as a character development, and they turned him into this sympathetic guy that went out and did things. Again, when you overly explain a guy's role and overly explain his purpose and stuff, it got real watered down and nice, like we say, nice guy Boba. And I was like perfectly cool with end credits and never revisiting it again, knowing that he's taken over Jabba's crimes just by
I got
itself.
A Rancor.
I know what we got. Like I said, I know like what the Book of Fett gave us, but it's I mean, I'm not.
The Book of Boba Fett. The Book of Boba Fett season could have been half as long as it was, and it would have been more impactful.
Yeah,
I think part of the problem was that it was a little too long for the content was small, and they were like, no, we need this number of episodes, so we're going to drag this out extra long. And you know what? We really need to hit this specific number of episodes. So why don't we go ahead and bring the Mandalorian in for a couple of
two
episodes?
of them?
Yeah, for 2 of those full episodes. So I don't know, man. I think Boba Fett. I think Book of Boba Fett could have been better had it been shorter and leave. Yeah.
Yeah, but the impact on it for season 3 of Mando 3 will be like Ernie said. He's going to go back to Din.
Yeah.
They've created a bond now, right?
So if that's
going to set him up to be with Din and be his partner to help him out. Grogu's made a choice to be basically a Mandalorian. Right. So you got two guys that aren't two characters with Din that aren't Mandalorian that will be. That's what happened basically in that show, and we've seen that Grogu has some training, and it wasn't. I think the cool part about the Luke thing was they made a point that he wasn't necessarily learning, that he was remembering.
Remembering.
So as long as he remembers stuff, he doesn't. That was actually that just kind of hitting me.
Very
now.
clever.
Yeah, it was clever because now he doesn't need a master with him. He's been training for 50 years or close to. He needs to remember what was going on and connect. So
when Ahsoka was
smart
and him were talking in when they first introduced, she did say that he's shut down. He's suppressed a lot of his powers. And he knows Grogu knows what's up. He knows this and that. But he won't. She feels the fear in him. And she won't train him. That's why it's like, look, if he wants to be trained, he's gonna have to call out. But she saw it. It's that whole line. Like, this kid's seen some stuff, and he's suppressing a lot of stuff plus the fear. And I'm curious to see where it's gonna go. And I know that I just saw a Favreau interview saying about Grogu, or was it Filoni? One of them doing an interview. Yeah, Favreau saying about. You're going to see Grogu explore and get powerful, and you're going to see a lot more progression with him and his powers.
There's been a time jump between Book of Boba Fett and here. Not a lot of time, but time has passed. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So now he said you're going to see Grogu has grown stronger in the Force.
Right.
They're going to kind of explain things out. So it's should be exciting. Everybody's moved on. We're already in positions now. Kind of like you said about how it's nice to come in and everybody's kind of on their thing, like Mando season 1 was.
Yeah,
we're gonna come into season 3 like everybody's already in position.
Love it. Yeah, I'm there. Right, like it's so cool. Yeah. So
except for maybe Gideon, that's probably where episode 1 will be. Right, we gotta deal with Gideon.
Pick right up the Gideon.
He has to get out. So it's either episode 1 or 2. We're gonna get Gideon.
Wow.
That'd be great.
It probably won't be able to be. One's only 35 minutes. If you guys saw that today.
What?
Oh
no,
35 minutes, and I think that's including credits and intro.
Oh my god!
Right.
Well, 28, 27.
Yeah, probably doesn't include recap because in that same interview, Favreau said that they're gonna do a nice little kind of like they did before Kenobi.
That's right. That's right. They're gonna have a standalone. Yeah, that's right. I heard that. So maybe a recap and.
They'll do a
45-minute recap kind of stuff before.
Maybe total 45 minutes, but 35 for.
Well, they got to do it soon. Like if they're going to do that, put it out soon.
No, they put it out right before.
Like okay. So that day,
when you hit play, it does that, and then
recap. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Yes.
Okay. So to catch up all the casuals,
right?
That don't.
Which I do watch. I do watch because it's just fun to.
I enjoyed the hell out of the Attack of the Clone ones. Except for. Obviously, the music changed. It was a little off-putting, right? But, once you get past that, it was fine.
Yeah. God, I'm trying to besides the whole tone shift of season 2. I mean, because we got into some different aspects of this whole thing. Like I said, there's no more guilds. You see on Navarro changing.
The discussion about the helmet with him and on the Believer, right? I like that discussion. Like, what is it? Can you not take your helmet off, or can you take it off at certain times? What's the rule? I think it's kind of throughout the season and rightly so. It was questioning a lot about the helmet. So again, just bringing that up. I think that was too.
That's a good
about him
because we heard in the Mandalorian season 3 trailers, Bo-Katan. It's basically saying you're fanatics, like you're a cult of fanatics, and I think Sasha Banks's character in season 2 called them a cult, also, and so maybe and that's why I was like maybe Din is going to the armor is obviously going to have an influence in this one too, and Paz and. Maybe he's going to go against that. Like I was taught this whole time, but maybe these other factions, right? Maybe I don't have to follow these because I think the atonement process is going to fail or something. And he's going to, I don't know, like there's a lot to digest there. And I think he might go against the armor and actually go towards, Bo-Katan's Mandalorian teachings rather than the children of the Watch. Now, do they call themselves Children of the Watch, or was that a name given to them by outsiders?
I don't. We haven't. They haven't established that.
Okay, because
I'm still kind of confused as to where Bo-Katan sits with the Children of the Watch, because she was a member of Death Watch,
and he was rescued by Death Watch.
He was rescued by Death Watch. So where is that break? Did the cult happen after the fall of Mandalore? Did the cult happen? Was part of the problem with the fall of Mandalore were they already splintered?
Yeah,
because if you remember, Death Watch was on Concord Dawn, taking helmets off, wearing helmets. Doing whatever they wanted to do.
They were not followers of the ancient practices.
And Mandalore was the pacifist world where there was nobody wearing helmets, nobody doing anything. They were all just peace loving, hippies living on Mandalore. And so where is that divide? Where did that divide happen? And that's what I want to know.
Good question. Because again, even in the dialogue from season 3, Bo-Katan's calling out the whole or not even like in season 2 when it says your Children of the Watch, you're like, you guys want to go back in the old days and reforge the first idea of Mandalorians about strongest survive, the creed, the everything. Go ahead, Ernie.
Sorry, I know I want to get into this Mandalorian talk, but I gotta go.
Oh, okay, man.
I'm just trying to let you know. Okay.
Hey, if we don't see you next week, have a good trip, Ernie. We'll keep up with all your happenings, and I'll look forward to all your social media posts.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Hopefully,
have fun, buddy.
We'll have something and be able to jump in. But
all right, dude.
I'll see you guys.
Take care, man.
Be safe, dude. Have fun.
Now we have to decide who's going to do the outro. But yeah, that whole thing about where did that split happen? That's interesting because.
Yeah, I think they might explain it a little bit in
they're going to have to.
No, they explain it a little bit in Clone Wars where Concord Dawn and Mandalore had a split, right? Right. And it's kind of like the Concord Dawn was the old way at that point. And now they're trying to go farther back. So it's kind of weird, right? It's weird. They'll have to explain it.
But at the same time, the armor has the helmet with the spikes. On it, like Darth Maul's helmet. Like Maul's followers. So there's a lot of... It's all really cool shit to look at, but there's some holes. There's some holes in that line. Yeah. And I would really...
There's some information we need. Yeah.
We're missing
Mandalore is so fascinating that they're building this entire series off of their lore.
Yes.
Give it, and I'm sure they will give it to us, but I'm like, all right, come on, guys. Now's your chance to commit. I want to know all of it.
And I think they are. I think they are, because you're dealing with Favreau, who is a Mandalorian, right? And Filoni, who's pretty much broke it all out. So they're going to want to get as deep as, and we're doing the Mandalorian. So and I like as deep as possible.
Yeah. And that whole progression of it. And this is how, like I said, Season 1, you had a good progression of Mandalorian lore and his faction and what they're doing. Season 2 didn't until Book of Fett. Those 2 episodes with the Mandalorian in it went heavy. It was here is the missing episodes of Season 2. Boom. Yeah. It was like, oh my God. You even got motives of their armor. You got motives of Paz. You got these things and Bo-Katan and stuff. And so it was a very helpful thing. And I think all those things are going to be explored in Manda 3 and Season 4, because I also heard that Favreau just finished Season 4 writing it. It's all written, it's already done. And I love that confidence.
He said he had to do that because of the way the story goes. Because everybody else is going to be affected by it. So he had to write it out. But
that gives you good confidence that they've got a good grasp on what they're doing rather than trying to make it up as they go, right? That.
And there's a writer's strike coming, was the other thing. He had to hurry. So.
Oh, no, you're kidding me.
No, so that's why they're getting everything done. Ahsoka's in post, Skeleton Crew is in post, and we're obviously getting Mando. Real quick, I know we're getting short on time. They talked about the overlapping shows, too.
Yeah.
Skeleton Crew, Ahsoka, and Mando. That there will be standalone shows. Not kind of like Boba Fett, right? But you'll have crossing over characters that you'll probably see people jumping from one to the other. Yes. And I kind of thought that was Skeleton Crew already. We talked about that.
Well, that was confirmed not to be the case.
Which one?
Skeleton Crew.
Why? When did
Favreau confirmed, or in an interview said that the Skeleton Crew will not be crossing over. That particular show will not be crossing over.
Oh, I literally in that same one I sent you. He says it will.
Oh,
characters, not plot. So
I thought he said characters weren't. I thought he said
remember, Ahsoka's taking place in New Space. Skeleton Crew is taking place in New Space.
Yeah.
You're not going to go to a brand new part of space nobody's ever seen and have these two not touch.
Could have sworn. I'll have to look at. Maybe it was Jude Law saying it. I don't know. I saw something recently, like this past week.
Yeah, not plot, but character. So again, things that could shoot off. Ahsoka meeting up for one episode of theirs.
Oh, okay. If maybe I misinterpreted meaning, I thought it was like the show as a whole. So yeah, characters, sure.
It's not like I'm saying the Heir to the Empire stuff will not affect Skeleton Crew in their show.
Gotcha.
Maybe overall, but not in their
show. Man, I know Rosario Dawson's hinted at Ahsoka being fall this year or early next year. So there is
I heard it was this year. Same thing.
Yeah.
I want it now. Just so we know,
too, man. Like,
it's supposed to put it out there on the record.
Yeah. I'm really excited for Ahsoka. I'm really excited for next week, dude. I mean, I'm trying. Like I said, I'm careful. I'm trying not to wish days away, of life to get to something. But at the same time, I can't wait. Like it's.
We've had the Bad Batch now for weeks, and it's not scratched that Star Wars itch.
It has not.
The rest of the Disney Plus thing, even Obi-Wan didn't quite scratch that itch until the end, whenever we really got hammered with some cool shit. Yeah. But man, there's something about Mandalorian that just rewatching it, it's like you said, Marco, you kind of get used to the characters and it's Grogu, whatever. Oh yeah, it's but then you sit down and you rewatch it, and that is infinitely rewatchable.
It is just a billion times. I never looked at my phone once, like I do live, like I'm watching a Bad Batch from live, or whatever. I was in on it, and then as that little 30 minutes go by, you look back and go, why it's like so impactful. And that's what Star Wars does. And I opened my little monologue in the beginning of the show was that there's magic in Star Wars. Like certain things are just magical. Like they just work. And not since, like I said, the original trilogy did it good for us, And Mandalorian has been an A+ just from the concept to now. And everything that I've seen, heard, rumors, looked at, trailers, it just promises to keep going. Keep going.
The music too, like Nebulous B.
So okay, good. Yeah, good point. Okay, so it's refreshing to have something different. And especially with season 2, with when the Dark Troopers are coming up, right? I mean, hey guys, we got Dark Troopers too. So and when the music with the Dark Troopers, and it got real like industrial and little bit heavy, and I was just like, when I don't know what episode, when we were doing audio only podcast before, and we saw the Solo trailer, and I think we mentioned something that goes, you can't change Star Wars music. Star Wars music is like a staple in all content, and it's got to be John Williams. It's got to be orchestra. And then Mandalorian comes to us, and we're like, we love it all. We accepted it like it was just like it was natural. You know what I mean?
Completely different, and it still felt like it fit in the universe.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, and then another good point is how everybody has their themes going on. Well, Mandalorian just fit right in. Like
So I was looking for something else, but I hear you talking the music here. He's not. Did you discuss that he's not the composer anymore?
No,
Ludwitz or
yeah, it's his protege is the guy that works with him, but it's not him. Oh. He's not doing it for season 3.
From 3 on.
At least 3 is all I know.
Oh, okay, so we're gonna have to find. Well, let's see if we know. I mean, now that you said it, we're gonna have to look for it. But let's see if there's a real big difference. Like,
you probably forget it by the time it comes on, right? Because you're gonna hear the theme and then it'll just roll into it.
It changes all the time, even with his old, with Ludwitz. I think Ludwitz or
Ludwig.
Thank you, Ludwig. Even with his stuff, it changed every episode. Look at the Andor. We even had like a drum solo at one point, going on at the end, and it's like, and we dug it. It was like, this is awesome. And I never thought that I would say that, like, change, as long as we don't get the Beastie Boys Sabotage as intro to a Star Wars project, I'm good. But keep it like this. Keep it industrial. Keep it weird. Keep it whatever.
Otherworldly.
Otherworldly. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's perfect, dude. Like, go walk around Disney Batu and walk around and listen to the music there. It's great.
And bringing up another Disney Plus project that might not be as successful, at least in my opinion, because I haven't even revisited it, was Willow. It started throwing lyrics and real music and stuff like that in the soundtrack at the end of the episodes. And it's like, wait, why am I listening to? Why does this sound like? Was it Joan Jett and the Blackhearts at the end of this episode? What is happening right now?
Yeah, it's the Knight's Tale all over again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I like
it. There has to be.
I like that movie too.
Yeah. It's a good. It's actually a good movie, but it's like it's one of those things where you have.
You got the Joker, you got Jarvis. What else do you want? I mean, come on.
Right.
You had a K2SO in it too.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
it's a Lance.
Duh.
Oh no, he was.
Yeah, he was the best part of that movie.
That's right.
All right, cool guys. Well,
I forgot he was.
Yeah. I'm ready. I've been ready. I'm done with my rewatches. In fact, I think I will do Boba Fett again. That's the only one I did. I did seasons 1 and 2. I think Boba Fett's still fun.
It is. But,
the
last 3 episodes, like Scott said, are great.
Yeah, but at this point, we know what to expect, so we can do this rewatch and be like, all right, cool, whatever, and see how it impacts. Like Ernie is saying, if that's going to be a thing, or are we going to or is it going to be dropped the way it is? I don't know, because of Disney and Lucasfilm tend to do this thing where a little bit of pushback, they drop something and they don't revisit it no more. It's like let's see your vision fleshed out. But anyway, yeah. So anything else? Anything closing that you guys want to say or anything before we get out of here and let the pit go? Yeah,
I want to apologize for bursting in the way I did and interrupting Joey's train of thought. I'm really sorry, man. I know you were probably on a good roll.
He hasn't got it back yet, Scott.
I know. I'm sorry, man. I'm so sorry. You're sitting here dying of COVID. You're not even. I'm sorry.
That's hilarious.
I owe you a Pepsi or something.
But yeah, I mean, look, guys. Okay, before we leave, we'll hit you guys with this. It's starting. We're getting, like every season, we get our main characters of what we saw in the trailer, and then we're gonna start getting the special cameo posters and the special other things. So there's about. I'm just going by past. There's about 5 or 6 more posters to come, including these 3.
I'm liking the more artsy type thing here, right?
Yeah.
Like the design on them, they look more drawn out. They probably told AI to do it, but
yeah,
it looks pretty solid. I'm liking the sharp edges. It's kind of making me think that's Mandalore, right? Like it's turned to glass, everything's sharp and edgy and broken.
So looking looking into this kind of style, where when you have more posters and they're a little bit more jagged and rough like this, it tells you. Kind of like, okay, it's a little more dangerous looking posters, you know what I mean? And so fractured, dangerous. And I think that could be a theme going forward. There's a little bit more, real stuff going to be happening.
You know what? I want to talk about grief. We don't talk about grief enough. Now that you have this poster up.
Yeah.
He can't always just be a safe spot, can he? Is he always going to be a safe spot, or will he play a big part in the plot? Like, will he be forced not to maybe to turn on Din, or maybe he'll be so loyal that somebody tries to make him turn and he won't. Something bad's gonna happen with him, right? It can't just be all rosy from here on out.
He'd be the victim. I mean, he'd be the one who's taken out, and that spurs Din to go out and do whatever.
Yeah, because
his role even have time for that on Navarro this season.
Yeah, it was a night and day switch because he was Din shot him. Left him for dead, and he came back, and now I'm this guy that I'm a mayor of Navarro now, or whatever. I'm cleaning up the streets, but
that was after that was after Grogu healed him.
Yes,
changed everything. That was
100%. But there was there's a character development of Grief Karga. He started off the guild leader, the member of the leader of the guild.
Yeah,
and then lost everything. Like his world was down, but Grogu saved his life. And then after that point, he then is kind of switched his life around.
Yeah. Came back and rules a damn planet.
Yeah, so you're right. That would be a plot point of something happening to him that would piss Din Djarin off.
Unless they're really just keeping that as, hey, this has now become, base. This is the safe spot for everybody. But
so you're thinking maybe he can get bought out and turncoat Din.
I don't know. I just think there's got to be some twist to this character. It's been a nice progression. He really is progressed since day one.
Yeah.
I like the character. I'm just there's got to be more to him when it comes down to it. Nothing hidden right now. Nothing under the surface. Nothing nefarious or anything like that. But there's got to be a point where he's in danger, or Navarro is screwed up, or something happens, and it might not be this season.
So. Yeah.
Or he can just be the safe place, and then we just accept that, and that's cool.
So Sabersmith saying that. Oh yeah, Bo-Katan does have a scar on her forehead.
Bo-Katan has always had that scar on her forehead.
Does she?
It's just a little more pronounced in this particular image right here.
Because I didn't notice anything like that in my rewatch.
Yeah, here I was just looking that up real quick.
Oh, you were? Okay.
I could show everybody an example of it, and it is right here. You can
Gotcha.
see it
There you go.
on her forehead above her eyebrow. Yeah.
There you go.
Man,
and that's from the Clone Wars.
That's pretty. That is like the least like visible scar, and they used it. That's pretty awesome.
And they did. Yeah.
Yep.
Very good.
Yeah, see,
very good.
that's why
Thank
Filoni
you,
don't
Scott.
mess. Filoni don't mess nothing up.
Yeah.
Nope.
Exactly. Oh, dude, they got it all down. They got a spot on team. So,
attention to detail.
Yes.
That's right.
All right, guys. So let's get out of here. Let's prepare ourselves for.
This is what's going to happen right here.
But a space gator of some.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You
just
know that,
like in Happy Gilmore, Grief Karga gets his hand bitten off by a gator.
We already have that race in Star Wars. The pod racer, the alligator type pod. I don't know. I forgot his name.
Oh yeah.
We have the race in there, so he could definitely.
They could totally get in an argument. And he just snaps it off.
You know, there's some things that I will cringe at in life, like Star Wars. I wouldn't cringe at that, dude. I mean, there's just it's so funny.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So
cool.
And I think cameo wise, no Luke. I think there will be. We'll talk about this next week. I know too, but I think there will be flashbacks of Order 66. Obviously, I think there probably will be also flashbacks from the Clone Wars. I think we're going to see Satine. I think we're going to see the death of Satine. I think at some point that kind of like the whole turn. I think Bo will tell a story. We'll get some live action stuff.
It makes sense.
I think that's why, and I'm tell you why. The only reason why is because of what I've been watching how they release pops, and when they release pops, something shows up. They just put out a pre-order for an Obi-Wan Kenobi and Clone Wars armor from that arc.
Right. Right.
For no reason. I mean, there's like zero reason for that right now. The only reason
Mandalorian armor
being awesome.
When Kenobi came out, they put the pre-order out for the Anakin with the dual save, like that kind of stuff. Now you're seeing that, and then he shows back up in Attack of the Clones flashbacks. I'm just thinking that would be a cool deal. We have
you know what that means?
We have McGregor right now already Star Wars, and right, he could have already filmed it. Yeah. Maul is always around.
That could make the theory world run wild of a Kenobi season 2. It's like this whole thing. I don't know. We'll see.
Just one more shot for him, to get in there, and we get to see live action Obi-Wan in an animated scene, because we know they're doing that with Ahsoka, because we saw the finale in live action already, right? We saw Sabine turning around. It's not out of the question.
It could have. You know what? That actually, now that you're saying that, I could see that in like a. Because we're talking about where was the fracture? Where was the fracture that caused these guys to become the extremists that they are? What if we see that it all started at this moment, and then you just see Obi-Wan holding Satine for a split second before it goes off into a different direction? I could see that, actually. Make it so.
You don't have to see the whole kill. You can see, like you said, see him holding it, seeing Darth Maul behind him. Dude, could you imagine seeing a live-action Savage in that scene just out of nowhere? Just like, oh my God, we just saw everybody live action.
Oh my God.
How would that be? And it's so quick, but it's there,
My only argument to that point would be the purpose of having a 16 a flashback with Obi-Wan would only serve Bo-Katan's memory. It wouldn't serve fractured or any other Mandalorian memory.
Discussing it with Grogu. Remember when she's talking to Grogu about the Mandalorians? Oh, you're thinking your master,
attachments,
blah, or
maybe an attachment thing or something.
I think talking about Din and the other Mandalorians and everything else brings her to tell Grogu stories, and maybe that kind of thing.
Like I said, her perspective makes absolute sense.
You're right.
Yeah.
In that scene. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It only serves Bo-Katan's memory. It only serves her story. I don't see it serving any other purpose.
Trying to talk Grogu into stuff. She's friends with the Jedi. She's known Jedi. Yeah. A Jedi was in love with her sister. Blah blah blah. There's lots of things she can do to connect. Yeah. Are you serious? Did you watch Clone Wars?
Yeah. Did she know that because they had a connection that was
It
kind
wasn't
of
secret to Bo. Bo knew. She pulled Kenobi out of the cell and discussed it with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't
Dude.
real. It was like a what if kind of deal. You know what I mean? Like they didn't have a relationship. Is what I'm saying.
I love Star Wars,
had,
and I've never, had a relationship.
No. I'm not saying like a physical relationship. It was never a thing. It was like a desire that both of them had, and Obi-Wan didn't act on it. But
he still loved her, and everybody knew.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think it was that powerful. That it would. I just don't think that would be like a. There's no attachment there. To tell Grogu,
we've
tell Grogu,
manipulate Grogu.
You can't use that. You have to use. Nothing bad happened to Obi-Wan because of that. Now, if you use Padme and Anakin,
no, you're seeing it wrong. No. She's using it for his heart. Pull his heartstrings about my sister and our friends, the Jedi, and this and that. You can come with. We know what happened here, and let me explain what happened. To Mandalore, why it fell, and go through all these things, and just telling the story is how it comes out. That's what the purpose it serves, is buttering Grogu up, giving him the history, trying to turn him to her side. It had nothing to do with
Satine's death.
Well, that's the breaking point.
I just don't see it. I don't see it as impactful.
Yeah, they are. The thing is, tell me what was impactful about the flashback scene in Boba Fett of Boba watching Jango leave out the window 4 times.
Well, that's different.
It was
right
because that was
right. I just threw out a number right there. I 3 or 4. Yeah, okay. But it was more than enough, right? You know what I mean?
I get it. You expected a payoff off of that, and it never came.
That was
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. saying. I just think a little bit more impactful moments, but yeah.
I remember thinking to myself when that scene happened, and he's looking at the window at Slave One flying away. That's when it all started for him. That was, in my mind, that's when Boba left to go to Coruscant to execute Padme. That's when he was hired to do that, and that's when all of Boba's trouble started. It's the same kind of thing. His life kind of fell apart from that moment on.
Yeah.
There you go, right there. So Grogu's flashbacks are about when his life falls apart on Order 66. Yeah, Bo's flashbacks, whether she's telling the story or flashing back, are when her shit fell apart.
Yeah. Like I said,
her sister died.
To serve Bo's purpose, 100. I'm with you. That whole the whole Jedi thing with Obi-Wan and Satine, it just didn't. That was where I was like, you know what I mean?
But a catalyst.
Yeah,
like I said, to serve
a possible catalyst.
Yeah.
To serve Bo's narrative is where I'm saying that's where I would see it.
We probably won't, may not, whatever. The only flashback we know we're getting is Order 66. That's all we know we're getting.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, cool. We had our argument. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I'll never object to any Order 66 nonsense.
No, hell no, dude. As much as it comes back full circle, we still get emotional about it, and we're still like,
yeah. I mean, it's really.
Do we get that flashback from her perspective, and then we get like in Rise of Skywalker, how we had yours, mine, and the truth,
the real version?
Yeah, right. Is it going to be? Oh yeah, well, you think that's what really happened? This is what really happened.
Yeah,
the clue thing.
There's nobody else to do it. Is the problem? Everybody else is dead.
Yeah, other than Din,
but he wasn't there.
That we know of, I don't know. He's a child foundling, part of Death Watch. I mean, I don't know. See, that's where everything is weird, because here's a cult that exists that didn't exist before in previous. Where was that fracture? That kind of question.
Right.
But if he was rescued by Death Watch and during the Clone Wars and immediately brought into their hierarchy and their way of thought. Did the Children of the Watch already exist? There's so many questions.
There is a lot of questions because you're right. Death Watch wasn't a fanatical cult, but he was rescued by Death Watch. Did he get traded or did he go pick a path later in life? And
it all must have, after that time, it must have just all evolved or devolved, right?
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. It's definitely weird. But also, just because he was rescued by someone in Death Watch armor doesn't mean that they weren't part of the Children of the Watch at that point too. So it could have been that whole, but
Even though
it was a whole army of Death Watch.
Yeah, we haven't seen that color of armor again. We haven't seen the Death Watch armor, nor the symbol. The sigil hasn't been on anybody's.
The closest is the two Axe Wolves and Sasha Banks' character. Can't remember her name.
I can never remember her name either.
Yeah, but they're not children of the
funny
Watch.
thing is her name.
I know.
They're regular Death Watch.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's a confusion. So, hey, how many? Okay, I've seen a leak.
Casca Reeves. Reeves.
There you go. What's your over/under on number of Mandalorians you're going to see in this season?
Oh, dude,
wow!
I'm going to go crazy with this one.
Okay,
I'm going crazy with this one. I think we're getting into the hundreds.
Oh wow, you are
hundreds,
going crazy.
A lot,
wow.
Not just 15. I'm not doing the X-Men 3 thing. 15 mutants against 15 mutants. I'm going like a freaking army against or a fraction of an army against remains of whatever. So I'm thinking we might see little group pockets, but I think we're going to see a lot. I think we're going to see hundreds.
Nice.
Joey, what's your guess? What's your number?
About that 50 to 100.
Yeah,
like Marco was saying, different factions.
Yeah, let's not do X-Men 3 here.
Yeah. See, I was picking a random number out of my butt, man. I was gonna go 47 and a half.
47
and a half, because there's gonna be a kid running around with a helmet on.
It's Grogu.
So yeah, it's Grogu, right? He's
No,
No,
there is a scene when they were taking over Navarro or whatever they were landing. There's two young foundlings with helmets in the background as everybody's fighting.
Really?
In the trailer.
Oh.
In the trailer.
Watch that again.
I heard that too.
Oh, okay. It's in the trailer though.
Good catch.
Yeah,
I did hear that.
Aha.
That you're going to be dealing with foundlings in armar.
Woo.
Yeah.
They're in the trailer in the background when Paz comes down and he starts shooting.
Yeah.
There's two foundlings
or
kids with helmets on the background.
You saw a couple of kids in the very first episode of The Mandalorian in the covert.
But now they're in action,
running around in helmets. Yeah. So, but in action,
now,
I want to see a Mandalorian child shank somebody. I want to see him walk up and with a vibro blade.
Some cool spin move through his legs up and down.
Yeah.
Oh man, I want to see. Yeah. Let's do it.
Let's go.
So man,
what's your over/under, Chris?
About 100. Right around 100.
So a good number. Like a lot
it's not going to be. What's that?
Oh yeah, low at 47 and a half.
Exactly. Not like the 16 we saw on the shirt. That felt like a lot already. Right? Like oh
leaders.
Man. Like yes, exactly. I think that's exactly what I think they are as their clan leaders.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
yeah.
Like one of
because you had Bo-Katan and X-Wolves on the same shirt.
He's right.
You had Paz Vizsla and the Armorer on
but
the same
those are okay, maybe not individual leaders, but those are prominent names.
Maybe the rest of them, besides the ones we know, the rest
I know how to talk to Scott like this. Okay, Scott, I'm not talking red shirt Mandalorians. I'm talking
Wow. You condescending prick.
That was awesome. So Bo's a yellow, right? Armor's a yellow.
Yeah, exactly. We're not talking the
Paz is blue, I guess. Yeah, got it. But yeah, what's I always lose Christopher. I lose Doc Brown's name all the time.
Christopher Lloyd. Oh yeah, he's supposed to be in this too.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, he's the original Children of the Watch. He's the original.
He's a guy. Well, I don't know if he's that much, but he's a clan leader. So. That should be good and fun. So,
or is it just gonna be his voice like Nick Nolte? Is it just gonna be his voice? Like...
Oh, I don't know. No. I don't know. But him, Bo-Katan, and the Armorer, we're gonna have to have some kind of confab at some point.
Yeah, I definitely think there is. Yeah, it's gonna be.
Do you think we've already
seen
him?
Ride.
Do you think we've already seen him in the trailer?
Probably.
Oh, good. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of masked
helmeted people. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So cool.
Oh God, he's Babu Frick. He's doing the voice of Babu Frick.
Oh my God, I forgot all about the Fricks.
Yeah.
There's now there are two of them.
And he's gonna get R5.
Yeah.
That's right. He gets R. See that there's a lot.
That's all episode. 35 minutes. You're gonna get all that in because there's no way they're trailering more than 3 episodes.
I mean, forgot.
Well, they did. They did it all the other shows. We got just a little snippet from almost like 4 or 5 episodes in some of those other shows.
And then we were done out of them. Yeah.
I still don't think we've seen everything from the Bad Batch yet. And look how much I'm upset about that.
Somebody in our chat last week said there are like three 3 more scenes from the trailers that we haven't seen yet, and I don't think today's episode got any closer to that. So there is I think there's a couple more. I don't know them off, but someone did mention like they detected it and
at this point I'm really just excited for the last 2 episodes since nobody has seen them. And the kind of the reason for that, I guess the reason for that really is the first set of episodes. Until then, people have seen them a lot. They sent out the viewers, right? And people have seen those episodes.
Yeah.
And the internet didn't blow up, and I have no big leaks.
Yeah. That's true.
The last 2, nobody's seen.
Well, like D. Bradley Baker came out and said, just hang on. And I know maybe it was after this arc that, the kid got their shit back and hang on. Yeah. Okay, I'm hanging on, dude. Like, all right, we keep climbing this mountain. Not even climbing. We just keep riding this plateau.
Right.
But anyway, let's get out of here, guys. We've rambled on, way
2 hours
past our bedtime, which is great. So the plan is on Monday, we are going to get together 6:00 Pacific time and just go until, we shut the cameras off, because we're going to do our line talk episode. And I'm sure it'll start with Star Wars and it'll end with Star Wars, but we're just going to get on and chat. Everybody's welcome. We will have a opportunity for you guys to hop on. So anybody that's listening to us in the chat room, in the pit, that wants to hop on, we'll give you the way to come on and chat it up with us and stay as long as you guys want, and just kind of talk everything that we kind of run the gambit as anticipation for Mando season 3, and let them get that out there, because we're standing in line for Mando 3 right now. We are in line. It's cold. It's snowing outside.
It really is.
It was snowing
out there. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm excited to do that. So we'll post a thing about it and get it out to everybody for Monday's line talk episode. And then, of course, we'll do this again on Wednesday, which should be a very, very cool, exciting, energetic, or somber. I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things like the beginning of Bad Batch season. I doubt it.
Don't you dare Last Jedi us. Don't you dare. No,
guys. So, but again, same bat time, same bat channel. I'm not even saying Bad Batch.
You're muted.
I think he wants to be muted.
Oh, okay.
I was saying the same thing. I'm like, no Last Jedi. No Last Jedi.
It's like you throw it all out there, and so I don't expect that, but it's gonna be fun, man. Next week's gonna be fun. So,
Ricky Bobby.
So enjoy the rest of the week. Enjoy the weekend. Let it sit there.
Let it snow.
Hit that like, subscribe, all that stuff. Tell a friend. Get us on the pit. Get involved. Let's get this community talking, and see everybody's
dust off your camera so you can get online with us and we can see your ugly faces.
Hey man, even if you got a phone and you want to come on the phone, Joey's got the so no Ernie next week. He's traveling, so safe travels, Ernie. I think that's it, guys. So everybody in the pit, thank you so much. If you haven't done so, again, like, subscribe, follow us on all our socials. Let me put that up real fast. Where is the thing? Buy and tie, and there it is. So I don't know about Chris's and Joey's, but well, if they so you can follow us on our socials and all that. So with that, I think we're done, right?
Yeah. Hey, thanks a lot, everybody. Don't forget to not only like and subscribe, but donate some money to us, because we could really use it. Joey needs a brand new Swiffer. His was looking a little dusty right there. So with your support, he might be able to get a new Swiffer.
Yeah.
So log on to patreon.com/Sarlacc Digest Podcast. Donate a couple of bucks a month. We really appreciate it. Also, don't forget our show sponsor, Tashi Station Emporium, for all of your action figure stand needs. Look at this Darth Maul, this awesome Darth Maul. It's even better. Look at that.
Look at Too Bad.
Too Bad is on a Masters of the Universe stands. Look at that.
Wow.
One of my favorite. I love this dude. Oh yeah. Come on, man. High fantasy.
No, that's a great fig.
Exactly.
But
Too Bad's awesome.
Is it as cool as this here G.I. Joe explosion stand?
It is not.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Mr. T pities the fool that doesn't own one of these G.I. Joe explosion stands. So log on to TashiStationEmporium.com. Order your stands today. Sarlacc Digest Podcast in the coupon code for 10% off. Also, don't forget to follow us, like you said, on all of our social medias. We've got the TikToks with the 1-minute toy reviews. I'm back and I'm doing more. I don't know why. It's killing me.
Fun. That's fun. Why.
It's fun for you guys, so I keep doing it. So we've got that. You can also follow those same videos here on YouTube channel as our shorts. You can also follow Ernie the Fallen Fett with his shows, the Fallen Fett Chronicles, They're Not Dolls with the Toy Migos, How We Do Disney, Boba Squadron. You could follow Jojo Binks down below me right here, Bootleg Joe _760 for his toy photography. He just did a killer image of the Bad Batch. What were they doing? They were checking out a lifted car. It was freaking awesome, man.
Changing the rims on a lowrider.
Yeah. I love it, dude.
A perfect shot.
Upgrade.
Perfect use of those figures. It was great. Yeah. You can also follow our Twitter account. That's where Grand Admiral Franz, he's over there, does all of his damage. He goes on there and he says stuff sometimes, but not usually.
He said stuff.
Or, you know, our Instagram account.
Fun anymore.
It isn't. I agree, man. I agree.
Also, check out our Instagram account where we're always posting something new, something fun. And yeah, I think I covered it all. Did I cover it all? Did I miss anything?
You did. Oh, we will see you on Monday. Lion Talk episode, and then again on Wednesday. So
that's it.
Bookmark those dates.
Do it.
With that,
keep it nerdy, everybody.
We love you.
We do.
Most of you.
Hey.
Cut the damn feed.
He can't figure out how to turn it off. What the hell?
We're like so deep into this outro.
I'm in my teacher voice right now. This is how I was teaching the class today. I'm clicking.